Hey, Dallas. Uh, I'm Alvin, and welcome to Tit for Tat, this and that. Thanks for joining us today. Today we have the Short Stack Revolution with us. In the house, we have Kenneth K. Tukes, and we also have Miss Stevie's. Deshaun will be popping in. He popped in, but he had to pop out for a minute, but he'll pop right on back in here. We got Kamani down there in the chat. We got Alexis down there in the chat. And a few others may pop in here later. Bubs is down there in the chat. So today we are going to be talking some politics. And we also are going to talk a little bit before we get into the politics discussion, because that's going to be pretty powerful. We're going to talk a little bit about micro cheating and the effects it has on relationships, or if it does have effects on relationships. And does it matter or does it not matter? So let's go on and get into this a little discussion here first. But first up we have Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth, tell us a little bit about your page and what you do, and then give us your handle.
Okay. I have the K2 spot. I do reviews on movies, interviews. Yeah, I even do, there are interviews with guests and movie, music, all the above. And then my handle is at K2 and then the Instagram is at K285.
Okay. And how was your week?
Oh, it's been an eventful week with personal stuff going on with work, but everything else, besides that, everything else is going pretty well.
Oh, okay. Miss Stevie, I see you up in here. How are you?
Y'all know how I'm doing. I'm doing wonderful. I'm ready to put this orange piggy in the oven and cook. And I got my brother here on the panel, so I'm excited. My brother
All
K
right.
Toots is up here waiting on Deshaun and
Yeah.
everybody. Now's the time. Frederick Douglass will be coming in, joining the
Oh,
chat.
really?
I don't know if
Oh,
he's going to join it
yes.
live though. You have to see.
Oh, he gonna come in the chat.
Yeah. If you give him a link, he'll probably come up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let him come. You can send him the link. Can you send him the link? Are you able to send him the link through through your IG?
Let me forward it to him.
Yeah, see if he wants to come in. And then usually Kenneth, when he's in, he's down in the comments, but we got him up in the panel today.
Yeah, y'all did.
And he interviews a lot of interesting people over there on his channel too. I pop into his stuff sometimes, and also into Miss Stevie's. Miss Stevie's, Miss Stevie's? Miss Stevie's. Like she's multiple. She's not she and her. She's them and they. With the Miss Stevie's. Hey, tell us a little bit about your channel, Miss Stevie, and what your what your handle is. Your handles are.
Okay. On here on YouTube, it is Style by Stevie. On Instagram, it's Style by Stevie _daytime. And what we do, we discuss some of the things that we discuss here on the show. On here, I get to let loose, but on mine, I just kind of have to keep it reserved. But when my guest gives me permission, I take that seatbelt off. Alvin knows, y'all know how I get down and how I roll. But I discuss a number of things: fashion, beauty, politics. Today we discussed music with Damian T. Raven, and
he sure did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty fun. And then me and K Tooks did a music thing together. It was sort of our version of giving y'all the music panel that y'all
that was our catch up for y'all, because everybody kept asking when we were together.
Yeah, I saw that one. With the music panel. I saw that one.
Yes,
and I saw
some more. It's gonna be some more. Don't worry, we got you.
I saw the interview you did today, Miss Stevie, with the guy, from he was the one who played in the Download Chronicles, and he played in a lot of music that we know.
Damien,
Yeah, Damien.
and he's Emmy nominated. His wife won an Emmy. She worked on the Barbie film with Margot Robbie. So yes,
Okay.
that's a big deal right there. And then to be able to
Mhm.
have him on, I think this is our sixth interview. So we
Oh
discussed
wow!
that, but I try to figure out a way how
Congratulations
to
on that.
slide politics. I don't want I don't want nobody to think that I'm not, forgetting what's going on in the world. I was telling Deshaun and everybody, and K2 tells me to behave. I told
Yeah, I
y'all I'm gonna keep
did
my
say
foot
that.
on that orange piggy's neck. It's not coming off. It's not coming off.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and he's not going anywhere until you know, until he kind of croaks up out of here. So we
I'm
gotta,
just
you know,
waiting on that
we gotta
grand
put
old
up.
announcement.
Yeah, I'm
We
waiting
all
too.
are. I was telling
But the
Deshaun
only thing
that
is waiting on
beautiful.
that announcement. The only thing is waiting on that announcement brings in another pathological. Um,
Oh yeah,
oh, there,
couch fucker. Yeah,
yeah,
couch
there
fucker.
goes now's the
Basically,
time. There goes now's the time. Hey, Frederick, now's the time. And so Deshaun, can you hear us? Deshaun, Deshaun.
You can hear me, right?
we
Yeah, I
hear
can hear
you.
you.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You got an
Yeah, I
echo
was
though.
watching. Yeah, I was watching Miss Stevie that on the Now's the Time. She was roasting Donald Trump. She was roasting all
Ooh,
those
yes, she
people that
was.
was siding with the celebrities. She was putting her whole heel on all of their necks, including Nicki Minaj. I'm like, dang.
Hmm.
Yep, I played it over and over and over. Like I played it at my job. Like I just love listening to that. Just listening to her just going in. Oh yeah, she was going in on the trolls too. She was like,
Oh,
"Don't
yes,
fucking
she
play with
was.
me. Don't fucking play with me. I got the envelope. Don't let me get the envelope. Don't fucking motherfucking play with me." I'm like, dang.
I was like, I had to go like this. I'm
I
like,
did not know that side of Miss Stevie.
I know that side. You haven't seen it yet.
Wait, you got Speedy?
Mhm. So,
Whoa.
so
Don't play
Deshaun,
that.
tell everybody about your channel and what your handles are. You got an echo. You got an echo, Deshaun.
Oh, okay. Let me see. All right. Do you hear the echo?
No, now I don't.
Nope.
Yeah, now I do. What about y'all? Do y'all hear me?
I hear echo now.
Now, what was the question that you asked?
Tell everybody about your handle, your show.
Oh
What,
yeah, it's Deshaun Stallings. Is Deshaun Stallings, and you can go look that up on YouTube with all my videos and stuff. I put a little bit of video games, and I also do like reverse videos too. It's just a hobby, you know what I mean? So, you know. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is a cool shirt. It's a great one.
Yep, just like that 2K10 song. He said, I'm a champion.
But
talking to
anyways,
somebody?
yes, you can. Yeah, I'm on the phone. But yeah, because I'm playing Fortnite with someone up here while I'm like multitasking.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, you can definitely follow me there. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is also Deshaun Stallings. You can actually follow me there. I'd be posting some things too. My TikTok is banned.
It's
Thanks to
banned.
freaking Trump. Yes. Because the
What
thing is, I
happened?
was trying to post, because I was posting like the truth on everything that was going on, like the people that was doing things to the young and all of that other stuff, and people going to jail and all that other stuff. And also these freaking Trump supporters and how Trump is ruining people's lives and stuff. They're like, oh, sorry, we cannot do that. So
You should have known
How,
that was
they've
gonna
been
how long are
happen
you
right
banned?
there.
How long are you banned?
permanently.
So you can never get back on TikTok?
Yeah.
We don't need to be on there anyway.
Exactly.
They're all Trump supporters.
Remember the Chinese gave all of that to that white guy that's a Trump supporter that's connected to Trump. I forgot his name. Miss Stevie, do you know who that is again? Because you showed me it on Instagram a couple of months ago. I think it was a month ago or something.
Miss Stevie.
Uh-oh, she went to bed. She fell asleep.
Sister ain't in bed yet.
She
So
just
it's like
came
she
in.
heard now.
She
Yeah,
usually don't
she's-
fall asleep for at least an hour or so. She ain't sleep yet. Miss
She ain't sleeping.
Stevie.
She
Oh, I
texting
got
you.
it on mute. Oops. Oh shoot.
Oh, Miss Stevie.
She there?
Sister,
Oh,
you
she's
there?
Yeah.
I can't unmute her because she muted herself.
Give sister some time. She'll answer when she's ready.
Okay, so y'all, let me ask y'all a question about micro cheating.
Mm-hmm.
What do you Kenneth, give me your, before I play this video, I want to get your take on how you feel about micro cheating, or is some of it okay, or is none of it okay?
When I heard the words, and I see my job, I was not familiar with it. When I saw it, it's like, oh, I don't know what to think about that one right there. I'm like just being honest with you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or lie because we're on a live. I just I don't know about that one right there.
So I'll put this.
Figurative behavior.
I'll put this up
okay.
here.
I see what you're saying, but that's what a lot of that. What they're saying is what a lot of people do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
a
it
lot
says
of micro cheating. I feel like it's kindergarten shit. If you really want to be honest with you. Because you got some people that do that, especially people like how it's saying on different stuff about like when it comes to relationships and just when it comes to telling the truth about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of it is to the point where you have people who are stupid and they're childish, but then you have some grown adults who still don't get it, and you think that'll be the young ones that don't understand. But you have grown adults that who still go through that situations right there, go through those situations, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, they just how can I put it? Some people haven't grown up. That's what I should have said.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the whole thing with micro cheating. It's like to the point where have you really gotten yourself together, or are you trying to make yourself feel like you've gotten it together? Because there are some people who have those moments where they can do it or they can't.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have to say about micro cheating.
Okay. So it says micro cheating involves subtle, secretive behaviors that cross relationship boundaries, like excessive secret texting, flirting with others, hiding your phone, lying about interactions, or sharing intimate details with someone else, often eroding trust within physical infidelity. And key signs include secrecy, digital boundaries crossed, emotional investment elsewhere, and defensive reactions when questioned, with the core issue being whether you'd be comfortable if your partner knew about the interaction. And I kind of think that that's the key. The key word right there is, would you be comfortable doing some of the things you're doing online, or maybe even outside of social media? Would you be comfortable with your partner knowing? So that kind of tells me right there that, like, if you don't want your partner knowing what you're doing, if you're in a relationship or you're dating somebody or married or whatever, and you're doing things online, or have quite a few different profiles, or you still have dating apps and stuff, and you're in a relationship and you're still on Jack or Grindr, to me that's where it would cross the line. If you don't want you're doing these things and then you're hiding it from your partner, and you don't want them to see that you're liking and loving different people's profiles. Now, there might be some where it doesn't cross the line, but then there's others where I would think it would cross the line. But if you're afraid and you're hiding it because you don't want them to know, then to me that's like sneaking around. And even though you're not physically, laying up or cheating, but
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Deshaun.
You're my little secret, and that's how we should keep it. Cause everybody, you and I, cause I know, cause you know that you understand. Did anybody knew that it was me in your house that you've been creeping to all the time? You probably still do it.
That's actually a prime good example of that whole situation, what you just said, Alvin.
Yeah.
Technically, that's basically that song right there. And then you have other songs that if we really go there, it will be a music panel up in this month because there's other songs besides Escape's My Little Secret that go to that. Because that's just like Whitney Houston's Saving All My Love for You.
Yeah. It's kind of like
a sideline whole song. Basically what My Little Secret is.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know, people who, you know, not quite like that, but it's still kind of like being on the down low, you know?
It basically is. It's just that it's like you said when you were bringing it up and you were defining everything. It's just about the communication factor of how you feel with your partner. Are you guys communicating? If you're not communicating, especially if you're not communicating very well, you're going to go through those issues and problems.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this little video on micro cheating. It's about 8 or 9 minutes long, I think. And then if y'all want me to stop it anywhere in between, if you have something to say or whatever, just tell me to stop it, and then I'll stop it, and we can talk a little bit about it. Or when it's finished, we can talk about it, and then and get your opinions on it, and then if anything's have changed or not since what you just said here.
Okay,
I don't know where Miss Stevie is. There she go. Miss Stevie.
I'm right here. I had to go help. I'm multitasking, literally helping mom.
She had to help mommy on that situation.
Okay, Miss Stevie. Yeah. Before we start the video, what do you think about micro cheating?
I think that's what Donald Trump is doing right now. He's already. Why are you going after Georgia? Why are you in Fulton County, Georgia? That's the $1 million question. Why are you going after that? Why is Elon Musk back in the picture? These are questions that we have to ask. 2026 is here, and what's coming up? Midterms. Republicans know they are going to get slaughtered. There is a blue wave coming. They know that they are going to get slaughtered. They are doing everything possible to cheat. Now, you instill an electorate. Steve Bannon just came out and said the quiet part out loud, saying that we're going to have ICE agents monitoring the polls. That's voter intimidation.
I agree.
They did it in 2024. Ballot boxes were set on fire in the 2024 election. And they never looked into that investigation. They never made an investigation and looked into it. But you have Pam Bondi out here arresting Don Lemon. So, Pam Bondi, my advice to you is instead of arresting Don Lemon and other Black notable journalists, you need to go after your own boss. And by the way, while you're at it, you could use some Clinique girlfriend, those bags. You look tired, sis. You really do.
Damn, you look tired, sis.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. I think
that was cute. I like that.
Yeah, I think Miss Stevie thought we were talking about Trump and we were talking about micro cheating, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Let's just get her point across.
Yeah, she'll be able to.
She just had to let out that frustration.
That's coming up next. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video on micro cheating, and then we'll come back and get y'all take on it, okay? And then we'll move into our politics.
Gotcha. I'm ready.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Jillian on Love. Today I'm talking about micro cheating, which is something that I'm seeing everywhere. And I want to address it because I think it's an important thing. And I think it's an important thing to, it's just an important conversation for us to have. What constitutes as cheating in a relationship, or as micro cheating would suggest, what is something that's just maybe isn't actually infidelity, but just bordering on that line where it's inappropriate. And the truth is, in today's world with social media, it's a really important conversation to have. There's a lot of distraction out there, and never has it been easier for us to interact with different people. And it begs the question, where is the line? Where do we draw the line between something that's just like innocent, normal behavior and something that's inappropriate if you are in a relationship?
Can you pause right there?
And I remember.
Okay, go ahead, Deshaun.
You know, for me, I just thought about it. I think micro cheating is kind of like a light cheating, even though it's not really. Okay. It's cheating, but it's not like it's something that a person will suspect, and it's like, why are you on? Like they'll ask you, like, why are you on? Why are you looking at someone that's find attractive instead of looking at me? Even though that's still disrespectful, I think it's you know I think it's all bad in all different angles, unless the partner is like not really worried about it, like you know what I mean, or probably agree that that person is hot too, or something.
Yeah, man.
If you're in an open relationship, if that partner decides like, oh, okay, this person is hot, then that's an agreement on that. You got to tell your partner if you really, if you're in your open relationship or something, because the other partner is not going to accept it though. It's always both lines of defense here. You know what I mean? When it comes to stuff like that, especially micro cheating.
Okay.
Even though it's because the partner will still think it's cheating.
Yeah. I think it depends. With me, it kind of depends on what they're like. What you find out they're actually doing. What you actually find, and if they're really trying to keep it secret, and then what pictures, what videos, and what they're liking or loving, and then what they're actually saying. When they're communicating with people or whatever. Because to me, it kind of almost crosses the line.
Right.
And sometimes to me, if they're sitting right next to you and they're doing it, that's very disrespectful to me. That if they're sitting right next to you or laying next to you in the bed and they're sitting there doing it and you don't really know what they're doing, and you find out later that they were texting or flirting with
Someone
other
else.
people.
Right, exactly. Because the thing is, it's still wrong though. Because the thing is, like let's just say, let's just say if you're doing something you're not supposed to do, but let's just say this: what if the partner looks at that? Let's just say this: what if the partner was also freaky too? Like, oh, this looks attractive. Let me just jerk off with you or something. Then what would that sound like though? But if they keep doing it, then they're like, oh, you're kind of weird. You know what I mean? You're not even trying to do it with me. Like performance. Unless you want to do it with me. Unless that's all you've been striving for. Unless they're sex addicts, I'm not sure.
Yeah, sometimes people are sex addicts, or they have other type of addictions when they're addicted to social media and different stuff. Or some of them be like narcissists and stuff, like that. So there's different reasons.
It
I mean,
really
I don't know
depends
if all
on
of it.
Really, if you want me to be honest with you guys, it depends on the situation of that relationship and the partners too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the
that's
boundary.
right.
Now
That
I
too.
understand now totally about micro cheating. It's basically like you're scrolling down social media, you see something that you're attracted to, you're in a relationship with someone, but it's all about, okay, you can fantasize, you can look, but you can't touch.
Touch.
That's
Exactly.
how I feel about it. You can look,
Uh-huh.
but you can't touch. And it's a lot of, if you go on social media, you go on Instagram, you go on Snapchat, you're going to see it's temptation. Sex sells. So in any relationship, you have to have something, but people are going to have what's attracted to their eye, what they're attracted to. And just
Exactly.
scrolling down, looking on social media, I know for me, I'm a sucker for muscles. So if I see
Mm-hmm.
muscles, I'm instantly going to be turned on by it. But if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I got something at home, I don't need to go and try to pursue something outside of that. It's okay to fantasize, you know, There's nothing wrong with fantasizing. Just don't act on it. You know.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
true. But it's like what sister said, you have to have a strong foundation in that relationship. Because if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have a good foundation in
Hmm.
that relationship, it's going to go downhill regardless of if one partner is doing it and then the other one tries to act as if they don't do nothing and they really secretly doing it also.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's more about the communication factor of it all. Because if you guys don't have a good if you and your partner don't have good communication, then micro cheating is going to happen regardless if you like it or not.
Yeah, what they're not getting at home, that you better believe they're gonna get it from
They're going to get it
somewhere else.
somewhere else.
And
Exactly.
So
T.S.
so
Madison
what
said it
about
brilliantly. A man will sleep with a rock. So I'm telling you, if they're not getting it at home, they're gonna go to somebody else and get it. So I must say, you got to try to keep the relationship spicy and interesting. Not all the time, as far as intimacy is concerned.
But just
But
at least
again,
keep
it
it
goes
to
back
a
to boundaries.
foundation where you know it's together.
Yeah,
Like saying.
y'all want to know what my
right.
since Miss Stevie said a man said somebody told her that he would sleep with a rock. Y'all want to know what my brother told me? My older brother years and years ago, he had told us, we were all sitting around at the house laughing around and joking, and he told us that uh, he says a man asleep with a rattlesnake if he kept his mouth. He said a man would fuck a
Yep.
rattlesnake if he kept his mouth open long enough.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, T.S. Madison said that a man will sleep with anything. Look, he will have sex with a freaking tree or something that he can find if he can find it. You know, T.S.
Yep.
Madison says
If
that all
it's
the
got a
time.
hole in it, that's what she
That's
said.
A
true.
hole in it,
Hmm.
and then he'll fuck you.
But it's also like the movie. Remember the Tyler Perry movie, you guys, Temptation?
Yeah.
It's
Oh
basically kind of
yes.
like that
Hmm.
because they were happily married, but
You want
but
something,
the
but you
wife
can't
still
have
had
it because you're
issues.
in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah,
Right. You can
exactly.
fantasize,
So
but
what?
I'm
I got a question. So if they're in a relationship, why don't they just? Why can't they find someone that is open minded and free? Like, baby, you know what? Because we're both freaky. Why can't you get one of them instead of getting one that's a monolith that's doing tradition values? Why you got to ruin that person's life? Why
But
can't
see,
if you
like
join
a
all these
that's the
polyamorous
fantasies, you
communication
should
relationship.
go with
too.
That's
the
what
person
you're
that have the
meaning.
same thing as you.
But that's the communication between them and the partner.
Hmm. Yeah, but what if some of those people do not want to do that? That's the thing. And then you're freaky, but they're not like that.
But see, that's
That
the thing.
that's
That's
gonna
between
ruin
the partner.
everything.
But see, that's between them and the partners because at the same time, if they didn't solidify that when they got together, then what's the point of even being together? Period. If you guys want to be together, because it seemed like you guys are just settling. If that's the case,
And like now's the time, just said it's the thrill of sneaking. Like even a lot of people, ooh, I know something you don't know. What did Escape say? My little secret. You
secret.
keep it on the hush. Let's keep it on the low.
Exactly,
Let's,
because some
don't tell nobody about it. I'm in a relationship with
exactly.
somebody, but you can't go out here and tell nobody about it. You basically signed the NDA. So be
Mm-hmm.
quiet. Don't say nothing to nobody. But I'm not like that. I want one person, but I would explore the idea. And you guys sit down with the person and ask them if they're comfortable with, like Deshaun just said, being in an open relationship. There are some people who are just like, that's not for me. But
That's
you all
true.
know the singer, and I'm pretty sure K Toops knows Neo's in a open relationship with two women. So I mean, but
Well, I
that's
think it's more than two. I
heteronormative
think he's
though.
with. I think he's with.
Yeah,
I think he's with 3 or 4 women.
yeah. So, but there are people who are into that though. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you won't have to worry about cheating. You got everything you need right there at home. So if you're doing that,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine and dandy. Not no judgment to nobody at all. But
Yeah,
if
you
you're
do you.
going out there and
That
you're
works for you. It
sneaking
works
to
for you,
do it,
but it don't work for me.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Now don't do
I
like
agree with
Donald
Miles
did
the time what he
Melania.
said on his comment. When he said entertainment media very much about how much personality who likes the attention of others for their enjoyment. Micro cheating is about egoism, people who need attention around the clock. That's true.
right. So let me ask y'all this.
Yeah.
What if you're in a relationship, and the person still, and you say you get into a committed relationship, you both agree to get into a committed relationship, and just say it's not open. What do you think about when they keep their Jack or Grinder profiles or some other type of dating profile? They keep it.
Wait a minute. You mean you said Grinder, right?
Yes, yeah, Grinder
he
or
said
Jack
Grinder or Jack. He said what will that determine, like, if you're still in a relationship and they still keep that? Because to me, that's a deal breaker. That's a no. You got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, Mike Johnson got a Grinder account, so I mean, but we're not on that yet. I'm gonna behave, y'all.
Say what you got to say. Speak your.
Oh my, Mike Johnson got a Grinder account.
Y'all, a lot of those.
Deshaun, you're so horrible.
Oh my.
Deshaun, you're so horrible. Trying to instigate that.
Yeah, so that means he still got it, don't he? Oh my gosh, he ain't giving up.
Them notifications was going off at the Republican National Convention.
Deshaun.
Oh my God.
Don't encourage him, y'all.
Okay, so what do y'all think? What do you think about that, Deshaun? Do you think that you should be able, if you're in a committed relationship and then it's not an open relationship or anything like that, should you or they be able to keep their, you got an echo.
Well, if a person, it's communication, yeah. If a person agrees with it, then yeah, I mean you can do it, but it needs to have consent. Like it has to be with the person's, ability to say, okay, you can do it. You know what I mean? I mean, if you want to try, but there's some people that want to, they want to join too. You know what I mean?
Now Slick said, match my freak. So that means, I guess that's a yes for her.
That too, match my freak.
For them, they. I guess that's a yes for them, they.
Yeah, match my freak. There you go. Because, there's people that are freaky. They like to watch porn. They like to watch other people that's attractive. And, and then they probably want to let you, they want you to say, oh, look at this person that's hot. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's join. You know what I mean? I know this person's hot too. So, you know what I mean? And plus on social media, now there's, the dudes that are stripping naked and all that other stuff on here on social media and all that stuff. And, yeah, even on Instagram.
Now is the time.
Now I agree with Frederick. Now he's saying, let's not sound like church ladies up here, because
he said, that's not you got some people that are going to say what they're going to say. Prudent up here. Is that what he's saying?
No, he's saying let's not sound like church ladies up here. That's what now's the time saying. But let's keep it real, because at the same time, regardless if it's between a male or a female, how they feel, you're going to have somebody that's not going to compromise on what they want, because at the same time, you should know who you get in a relationship with. If you know somebody's that freaky, then you should accept it. But at the same time, like he says, a sex addict. It's kind of like, remember when Halle Berry was married to Eric Benet? We thought they had a great relationship, but he was a sex addict. And it wasn't a healthy relationship. We thought it was all good, but really it wasn't a healthy relationship for them. But at the same time, Halle was trying to work on her marriage for that. But at the same time, it didn't work good between her and Eric, because the paparazzi found out about everything. They leaked it all. But I think at the same time, if you have somebody that's a sex addict and you're with them, even regardless if it's Eric Benet or Halle Berry, whoever, it's going to be a problem, especially if one person doesn't agree.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, is Bubs still up here?
Who?
Bubs the guy.
Bubs is watching it because he's at a repass right now.
But he's at a repass, so he can't. He might not be able to comment or say anything.
He may not comment.
Because he's at a repass. But
well,
he may
I mean,
later when he gets home or something like that. He may or may not.
I
don't think if you're in a relationship and it's a committed relationship and it's not open. If y'all committed to a relationship that's like closed, like a monogamous relationship, then I don't think you should have your social apps dating apps. I don't think you should
I
have
agree.
those. You know, because all it's going to do is, I think that'll
Cause
you
more
know,
friction.
yeah, and to me, it's like you really haven't put yourself into the relationship fully.
Exactly.
If you do that, that means you still want to have that little door open in case you want to go, you know what I'm saying? And I know some people will say, "Oh, but I only keep it because I got a lot of friends on there." But that's not
That's a
usually what
cop
those
out.
apps
That's a
are
cop
for.
out for bullshit.
Yeah,
Because
that's not
that's
what
basically
those apps
saying
usually
that's
are
basically
for.
like the TLC song "Creep."
Uh-huh.
You said
Creep, you gonna
creep.
keep it on the down low.
Creep. You creep me?
Come on,
So
y'all.
I
We all know
creep.
this. We all know the song "Creep."
Yeah, just keep it on the
On
down
the
low,
down.
cause
Thank you.
he's knows to
Yeah.
know. You know, and I so I creep.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead.
It's
I'm gonna go
gonna, it's
ahead and
gonna be like
replay.
that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
that's what it is. They're creeping.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know that Left Eye never liked that song.
Oh,
She's
I know
like,
she did.
why
Because
don't you
anybody
just
that saw
leave?
that TLC Crazy Sexy Cool movie, the Crazy Sexy Cool story, they know that she didn't care for that.
Yeah, she didn't really care for it. She said, why don't you just leave? Why you want to get back at the person? Just leave. Like it's just not worth it. That's what she said. Because she disagreed with that song.
Yeah.
She really did. But when she burnt that house down, woo!
But see, that was a different situation. That was dealing with Creep. But see, she knew he was messing around, but she didn't know to the degree.
Right. Because she wasn't gonna play that though. She
But see,
was not
because
playing
remember,
that.
saw all those. Remember, she saw those pair of shoes that he bought. He didn't get her no shoes, and that's what made her burn down the house. And she was drinking too.
Yeah, Left Eye was like, yes, the devil. I burnt the house down to the ground. I did. Burnt it down.
But see, that situation
That
like
was a
that's dealing with
freedom of
microcheating, but it's dealing with more besides microcheating because
she
that foundation wasn't strong.
She just burnt that house down. Like, oh, it's a
Because you got to
relief.
remember, that was a toxic relationship that her and Andre Rison had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you. Listen, there was a security guard that works at Macy's. I did not know he actually knew Left Eye Lisa Lopez. He told me that he met Lopez, and when he saw her, it felt like something was wrong with her. Like it's like she wasn't there. And he knew what was going on. Like it was so toxic. I mean, he gave her a hug, but the husband saw it and then he had a knife and he was like, no, this is something different. It ain't nothing sexual, nothing. Because what was going on with her is like, because he was trying to tell her, like, be yourself, love yourself, try to tap into your higher self and stuff like that, of whatever you're going through with your husband.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But remember,
You know what I mean? And whatever you're
Chili
going
and
through
Dallas
of what
Austin
your
went through the
husband is
same
going through,
stuff
you need
too.
to find yourself. And she did. See, he gave her great tips. And that's the reason why she changed her life. And that's the reason why she went to, I forgot what you call that place where she changed her spirituality and went to Dr. Savvy, Dr. Savvy, whatever.
Yeah.
She went to Honduras. But
Honduras,
you gotta remember,
Honduras.
remember, Chili went through the same thing with Dallas Austin also.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Okay, y'all, we're going to get back onto the video.
Let's get back on it.
All righty.
Really amazing advice many years ago from someone. And this person said to me, anything you say or do with another person, if you wouldn't do it with your partner sitting right there, then chances are you are engaging in an act that is in some way threatening to your relationship. And here's the thing, we're all human beings, and so we are going to be attracted to other people. But how much are we going to actually allow that kind of energy into our life and into our relationships life. So let me give you some examples. Recently, I was talking to a young woman of 27 years old, and she's been in a committed relationship for about 7 months with her boyfriend, who's around the same age. And one of the things that they have been sort of arguing about is that he follows on social media 2 girls who he used to date. He used to date and he used to sleep with. They're not good friends. They dated fairly recently, like, year and a half ago, 2 years ago, pretty much right before he met this person I was speaking to, who was his girlfriend. And his defense was, it's no big deal, we're friends. And her point was, but this is someone who's not a good friend of yours. This is someone who you dated and were sleeping with, and now you still follow them, and sometimes you like each other's photos, and I just think that's inappropriate. And what I noticed that's going on, which is something that I see all the time between people, is his defense is more like, you can't tell me what to do, right? It's the protection of autonomy, which I see all the time in relationships. You'll have one person who maybe is feeling uncomfortable with something like this, and then the other person who is very protective of their autonomy and is clinging to their right to be able to follow whomever they want to, because they don't want their partner to tell them what to do. So it's their way of digging their heels into the ground to say, I will make that decision when I feel it's right. And then the other person is feeling completely disempowered, completely out of control, and feeling like just very uncomfortable. And then this clash starts to happen. But here is the truth of this situation. So is it micro cheating to follow someone, for example, like her boyfriend is following? I don't really love these terms, micro cheating, but is it inappropriate, and does it cross a line? In my view, absolutely it does. And I'll explain. You can't tell someone you're dating or someone who you're in a relationship with what they can and cannot do. You can't tell them who they can follow and who they can't follow. We cannot do that. We cannot go into a relationship or operate in a relationship where we are trying to take another person's autonomy. But we can express what our standard and expectations are and behave accordingly. You see, when we recoil and try to protect our autonomy because we don't want to be told what to do, we are missing the point of the conversation. Now, to be clear, she didn't tell him, what he can and cannot do. But she did bring it up as a concern and something that definitely bothers her. Here's the thing. When we can be honest with ourselves, which is, to be honest, not that often. We have a tendency as human beings to lie to ourselves when we want to meet our needs badly enough. And if he were to ask himself this question, why am I following this person? And I invite all of you, if you're following someone, if you're in a relationship, or even if you're not in a relationship, and you're following and liking and engaging with someone who you used to have relations with, we all have to ask ourselves, why? And if we're really honest, here are some of the answers that we would come up with. I'm bored. I like the little hits of sort of excitement and dopamine that happens when we engage. Or haven't fully let go of this person entirely. I'm still attracted to them. Or I need validation. And sometimes I don't feel that great about myself, or I'm not dating anyone. And when I engage with this person, I have a little reminder of the fact that I'm still relevant in this person's life in some way. I'm still relevant in their psyche.
So, I actually think it comes down to a lot of people need validation. They constantly need to be reassured or need validation. Sometimes no matter where they get it, but a lot of people, they get it online. They don't even know these people. They're probably never in their life ever going to meet most of the people that are online, and then, but they constantly are sending out, even when you're there, it's like they're not even paying any attention to you. There's like your quality time is them liking and scrolling through and liking, thirst trap pictures or whatever, which, I guess it's fine, but, but to do that hours on end or constantly, you got to wake up doing it, going to sleep doing it. It's like it's a validation thing to me also. So I kind of agree with what she says. Frederick, he said this, I guess he's commenting on all of it too. And he said facts. What y'all think? Y'all think somewhere close to that, or you got your own opinions on it?
I actually agree with you and Now's the Time, who says Frederick Douglass on here.
Yeah, that's Frederick. Yeah, Frederick
Yeah,
Douglass.
I actually agree because at the same time, it's a validation thing. It's basically what we were just talking about before we finished the footage. When we were talking, it's just about validation. But I feel like if you feel like you have to be validated by looking at other people like that, especially like when you say this thirst trap pictures or anything like that,
yeah,
that's basically saying you don't need to be really in a relationship. Because if you're going to be in a relationship and you're with somebody and you have to do that by going on somebody else's profile, by doing all that instead of appreciating the person that you like, then that basically says that you don't know what you really want. You basically either need to stay single or just stay single, basically. I was going to say something else, but basically just stay single and don't actually waste another person's time that's supposed to be your partner who you're in a relationship with. Because I
Right.
feel like you already create more problems and you're cracking the foundation.
Mm.
a lot
I
of
gotta
people
ask
say
you a
they want to
question.
be in relationships. They seem like, or they think that they want to be in relationships, but when they get in them, a lot of them don't know how to let go of some of those habits that they have that can be detrimental to your relationship. And one of them is like the constant, scrolling and liking and
Hmm.
thirst trapping, or it's all right to admire people. It's all
It's
right
nothing
to.
wrong with that. Yeah, you're
Right.
right. It's nothing wrong to admire
And I
somebody.
think you can like or even love your friends with like your friend if they're your actual friends and they're, they might post something or whatever, but you're
Hmm.
not like sexually interested in them or anything like that. And you
Exactly.
like a certain body pic, what they have on, but I think if they're showing something that's like provocative, or whatever, and you're now if you're not in a relationship, fine, you're not hurting anything. But if you're in a relationship and you're doing those type of things, you know, um, then I think it can be detrimental. Eventually, it would become detrimental to the relationship
Exactly.
because you're kind of constantly wanting something else. Like it's greener. What they say is always the pasture is greener on the other side of the mountain or something. You're
Hmm.
constantly looking for that and not appreciating what you have in front of you, and then you don't
Yeah, it's
appreciate it until you
yeah, it's
lose it.
basically like it's basically like what you said. It's like how they say the grass is not always green on the other side.
Yeah,
But then at the same time, it's like what Miss Stevie said. You can look, but you can't touch. But at the same time, do you have that self control in order to know what's real and what's real to handle a
mm-hmm.
situation, or do not know how to handle a situation when it comes to that? If you're being tempted,
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. I kind of agree with it. You know, if you're in a relationship, then some things, you know, it needs to stop or whatever. Um, Even if you think it's harmless, you know, and then what if your partner asks you to stop? Do you stop just because, you know, like like she was saying, some people say, well, you can't tell me what to do, you know, or you know, you're not going to take away my autonomy, you know, or whatever. But if you're spending more time doing that than actually out doing things with your partner, or you know, or y'all paying attention to each other or whatever, and you're spending more time doing that, do you stop when if they ask you to, can you please stop that, you know, or that hurts my feelings or something like that, or you know, do you stop or do you still keep doing it because, you know, what do you think?
I think it should be more about you stop, but at the same time, if you feel like if you have to constantly answer your partner like that, saying, "Could you stop?" and they actually act as if they don't want to do it, then that's really letting you know that the relationship is not going to even evolve more. But I feel like for some people are hard headed when it comes to relationships. It has to take them a while, or for them to get maybe their head cracked open and realize that some stuff is not what it's meant. It's not meant to be. Because at the same time, if you really are in love with somebody and you're doing thirst trap stuff like that, that's letting you know that's not the person that you should be with.
Yeah. Slick, what do you mean? You said feels like prep for accepting the other relationship. I mean, I'm not getting it. Does anybody understand what Slick is saying?
It's
Or
like,
Slick, can you tell me what you're saying? Because I'm not. I don't think what prep for the other relationship. What does that mean?
well, see right there. It was. I don't know how we got to really ask Slick more into
Yeah,
details
that's
of
what I
what they
just
mean
asked.
by that, because at the same
Got
time,
asked
that could
them.
be determined in different ways.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I just. They'll way back in here in a minute. Um, but anyway, okay, I'm gonna continue with the video unless somebody else has something to say. You have something to say, Miss Stevie?
No, I'm just going.
And I'm
This is my thing. Go ahead. Yeah,
Oh, go
just
ahead. What'd
this
you
is my
say?
thing right here. Yeah, I say this is my thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of temptation out here, and if you
Yeah.
see something you're attracted to it, you're gonna put. There are people who will pursue it, but if a person knows that they got something at home and they are confident, and not only just confident, but they are aware, like this person isn't going anywhere. Only a person who is insecure would do something like that. So I just wanted
I
to add
agree.
on to that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Oh, this is what Slick said. The guy is prepping the girlfriend to accept him, engaging. Oh, okay.
That's not
Yeah.
good. That's not a good. That's
Yeah,
not a
I
good
get it
thing.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, because if you accept it, that's just like being with a narcissist. You know, if you
Hmm.
accept, you know, once you accept their behavior and you keep letting them get away with the abuse they're putting on you, then they in their mind they think,
They're
well,
gonna keep
you
on
know,
doing what they want to do.
and if you leave and you come back, you know, or whatever. Same thing with abusers. You know, people who batter, you know, women or batter men or whatever. You know, if you leave or you come back and you could, you know, or you let them beat you, and then next thing you know, you're in there having sex with them and forgiving
Yeah,
them over and over again, then they think that it's okay for them to do that type of stuff. You know.
right.
So yeah, oh, I get it. Okay, thanks, Slick.
Yeah, it's all narcissism. And plus, I got to tell you this. If a man is doing, micro cheat, not even micro cheating, like he's doing something besides worse than micro cheating, he
Yeah.
needs to take a break from that other partner and say, I have a problem and I need to, get this off, or try to, just take a break and then we'll come back
What if he don't
to
think
the
he has a
relationship
problem?
or something like that. You know what I mean? When it comes to
What if he
whatever
or
that
she
person is doing, like if you're really in attracted to another person or any other people besides the main person, then you really need to step back and try to reevaluate yourself, and also try to better yourself into handling the situation when you're with your partner, because your partner, you don't know what your partner is thinking. You don't know that it's like the partner's like, is am I not showing you enough affection? Am I not Am I not enough for you? So you know that partner needs to start. The other partner needs to start really trying to better himself, reevaluate himself, try to find his higher consciousness, and try to know what love is.
Mhm.
You know,
But
I
then you
mean, I know
also,
he's. I know there's a lot of freak. I know there's freaks. I understand that. The thing is,
yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
show. You gotta come up front to the other partner because the partner doesn't know you, and you don't know the other partner because there's people that have secrecy inside them about what
but
they really want to do.
I got something to say on that after you finish. Not
So
to
Yeah.
you know,
correct what
it's
you're
all
saying,
about
but it's too much.
communication. It's all about
There you go.
back. Try to try to take a break or try to back away and try to rethink of what you're doing before you even do it because the partner's looking at you like, hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? That too.
That's true, but you gotta remember sometimes when people take relationships, they take a break. A lot of times that's not gonna work out well.
Oh, oh God.
Because you gotta remember, some people they say they want to take
Yeah.
a break,
That's
but at the
true.
same
Ah
time, are
man.
they really gonna take a break, or is it just because they know it's not working out?
Mm.
Yeah. And Frederick says, open it up. Honestly, you probably just need to open up the relationship, probably, but be more poly, or whatever. Because sometimes people don't even realize. Some people can be doing this a lot, and they don't even realize they have a problem, or
Mm-hmm.
they might not realize
Yeah.
that they're it or whatever. And some people just
Right.
don't care. Especially if you accept it, or if you ask them not to do that, that hurts. Can you not do that, or whatever? And then and then you don't do anything really to enforce what you're saying or whatever. Or when they cross your boundaries, I guess then they're going to keep doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
sometimes you have people who are in long distance relationships. So they might not
Yeah,
have micro cheating, but we're talking about micro cheating, not long distance relationships here. But this is an example. This is not micro cheating, but there are some people who don't live in the same house together. They're in a relationship, they're in a committed relationship, but they don't live in the same house together. They can be married, whatever. Shirley Ralph is a great example. Like since 2005, her and her husband, they don't live together or share a bed. And I remember her opened up about that, having a long
Mm-hmm.
distance relationship. There are some people who are just like, well, if I can't, in this moment, if I can't be with you at this present moment in time, you're wondering what that person is doing. So they're wondering as well too. So it
Exactly.
all goes back to that key thing, boundaries and respect. And not only that, but the key thing K-Tooks just said, which is communication. K-Tooks and Deshaun just said it, which is communication. Making sure that you keep in touch with them, you know, that we're all on the same accord. And I think now's the time to say something in the chat as well too. We can both be
yeah,
on the same page. And that's why, you see a lot of people doing these open relationships because it's like if you're sitting me down and talking to me, explaining to me, let's do this so that we know that there's no misunderstanding or anything.
yeah.
Well said.
Okay.
I'm still attracted, and because of that, I'm still significant and I'm still attractive. And so it is inappropriate, in my view, in my professional view, it's inappropriate to continue to follow people who you had relations with. Now, that's different than someone you were in a relationship years ago and you're really great friends or your business partners, or like it was so long ago. But there's a difference also between following and also engaging. But to follow and engage or engage with every single person that you dated when you're in a new relationship, and even when you're not, you have to ask yourself, why am I continuing to do this? But especially if you're in a relationship.
So if you're in a relationship and just say, should you be following your exes? And should they be on your social media pages, or should you be following them still? And you're in a new relationship, and they're not, just say they're not the mother of your children, or you're not the father of of the children or whatever, where you have to keep in contact with them, but you can keep in probably contact with them through some other means. But should you be following them and liking or loving their posts?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you can like their posts, but not necessarily to this. Like, let's just say if the person is moving on, like that person probably have a partner by now. And if you're still liking, well, if you're still like commenting, saying, "Ooh, you're hot" and all that other stuff, the other partner that's actually with them previously is gonna think like, "Who's that person that's liking your stuff? Like, who is that? Oh, that's just my ex." Well, you need to do something about that, because I'm not gonna have that around me. And you already know how I get down. So that's how it goes. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know if it, it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot when it comes to situations like this. I mean, unless the person is single, then yeah. But that's just like a 50-50 right there.
You basically said it, because that's a complicated answer right there that you can't really get a good answer to really say.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or like I said, it depends on whoever that person is dating that you're liking
That's
like
true.
let's just say if he has a person that's open that likes open relationships that likes polygamy, then you're good to go. You know what I mean? But not everyone is like that. Everyone is mostly in monogamous
Right.
relationship tradition and stuff.
Well,
Even
everybody
though it's
thinks
not
they're in a
really.
monogamous relationship. Because
You didn't say fake.
most people think they're in monogamous relationships because not always. There's always exceptions to the rule, but there's usually one or the other. There's usually one, the other, or both are cheating throughout that relationship. So sometimes one can think they're in a monogamous relationship, and that man or woman could be slipping out on them for years and years, and you don't even know it until you do know it. Now, until you know it, you didn't know it. And so y'all might both say you want a committed monogamous relationship, but sometimes one in that relationship thinks that only applies to the other person, and then you end up really not in monogamous relationships, even though that's what you set out to do.
But that doesn't make any sense though. Why cheating though? Why can't people know? Like, why can't let the partner know? Especially if they're, well, okay, in monogamous relationships, like, right, people are supposed to actually be committed. You know what I mean? With each other, they're supposed to be evenly yoked. They need to they need to understand people's boundaries. They need to understand each other's boundaries. They need to know what the rules are and stuff when it comes to monogamy. What I don't understand is it's always either that one person or it's the other that is in these monogamous relationships and try to make the other person feel, worse, because the thing is they want to go out and date outside whatever they want willy-nilly, but the other person cannot. And that's not really fair, because the thing is you're in a monogamous relationship unless and the thing is you can't even tell the person up front to say, listen, I want to date other people, even though you're in a monogamous relationship, and now you're trying to lie to that person. That was all for nothing. What's the purpose of the monogamous relationship?
Yeah, because most
So that
people
means you gotta find a person. That means you gotta find a person that is 100% strict on monogamy, like you. But it's so weird to find because it's like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, basically you got it right.
Yeah, most people are. Most people they want to be in monogamous relationship, but most people really have open in their mind, but they don't want the other person to do it. They want, usually when one wants to do it, they wouldn't want the other person to cheat on them, but they get, they make allowances for themselves to cheat on them, and they don't. Even though a lot of people are getting into open relationships or throuples, but that's not mostly what people want. But when they're in a monogamous relationship, they still want the option for themselves to cheat, but not the other person.
Oh, that is just
Relationship.
greed. That's called
You
greed
have to
right
really
there.
think, does this help my relationship or does it take away from it? I'll tell you another story. A long time ago, I was dating someone. Not long. It was maybe 5 years ago. So kind of long, not so long ago. And I remember that he would just like heart. He would like and heart and send like heart emojis to women who he didn't even know. And he wouldn't do that with like any of his business, like his business follows or anything like that, but always to random women. And if I'm honest, I wasn't, I was very unsure if I was actually into this person and really wanted to pursue something romantic, like very long term with him, which I ended up not. But one of the reasons why I didn't is because of this. And I remember bringing it up to him and him being like, oh, it's nothing. It's, that's ridiculous. It's nothing. And I'll never forget saying to him, but is it nothing? Like on the surface, maybe it's really nothing, but is it truly nothing? And the thing is, I had to really think, was I jealous? And I think if I liked him more, I would have been. But it was more my observation of his need to have some sort of online validation. And I don't know that I would necessarily judge someone because we all need some sort of validation. But it was the type of validation that he needed, which meant that if I was going to be in a relationship with him, and he was pursuing being in a relationship with me, that there was a mismatch of values. And at the end of the day, this really comes down to a value conversation. And here's the thing. Sometimes we're just not aware of it. This is something that we're doing, and we've become so skilled at lying to ourselves about it's nothing, it means nothing, that it's not, the intention is not even to get validation. The intention is not to micro cheat. The intention is not to do anything that's inappropriate. But it's almost habitual. And it's so, and our minds can be very, very, very skilled at justification. When I reflect on myself, because I think it's so important that we don't take a holier than thou approach to this, which is, have there been times in my way past when I was much younger where I've micro cheated? Yeah, definitely. Like I've actually never cheated in the sense where I've never had an affair. I've never kissed or done anything physical with someone else while I was in a relationship. But I've definitely behaved in ways that if my partner, if my significant other, if my boyfriend at that time was there, I wouldn't have done. Which is, let's talk about long-term relationship. Let's talk about you've been with someone several years, maybe even decades. And you find yourself going on a business trip and there's a really attractive person there. And you're flirting, like they're flirting with you, like this really attractive person is giving you attention. You've been married for a long time or partnered for a long time and you're into it. Again, there's something very human in that. In a long-term but it's something very human in that, but it's also not okay. And it's not okay. And I'm not saying that it's not okay because I'm not even bringing morals into this. I'm bringing the practicality of what serves a relationship versus what ruins it, even if it's a slow death by 1,000 cuts.
So, what do y'all think about that? I agree. I think that it eventually would ruin a relationship, when it's too much of that. Too much of that scrolling, not paying your partner, much attention because you're too busy, scrolling and thirst trapping on social media, or you have dating apps and stuff like that. I think eventually, unless both of y'all are doing it and y'all agree that that's okay, now that's a different thing. If you agree and you don't have no issue with that, but I think most people will get a little jealous and the feelings will get hurt and stuff if their partner is constantly thirst trapping. If their partner is constantly thirst trapping and liking and loving, other people's pics and stuff that they're doing. And it just depends on what it is. Again, it's not always, sometimes it's your friends and stuff, and you can like and love their stuff or whatever. But when it's like anonymous people you don't know, and then you're liking parts of their body, or if they're showing, like, just say they're showing dick pics or ass pics, or even them ones, or if they're sending you, secretly sending you nude pics of themselves, and you're sending nude pics to them, but you're in a relationship and your partner doesn't know that you're doing to me, that's crossing the line, and I would think that you really don't even need to be in the relationship with me, because it's really you might be just settling, and then you really want something else, And a lot of times you think these people are out here paying you attention. People on the internet can be anything they want to be. They can say they're this, they can say they're that, they can put this income out there. They can, they can be anything they want to be. They can put up fake pictures or anything and stuff like that. And you can like it and love it and stuff. And in your mind, you can think all type of stuff. And that, that's in their catfishing you, or whatever. And most people aren't going to actually meet any of these people, and you put your relationship in jeopardy, when you're doing that type of stuff, and especially when it becomes an addiction.
Well said.
So what y'all got? Y'all got anything else to say on that? And then we'll move on to.
I'm done with everything on that one.
You said what?
I'm done with that one. I'm ready for the next topic.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I agree. But let me just say this. What if like, let's just say you want to allow your partner to watch something while giving him fellatio while he's watching it.
No, because
Well,
that's gonna set up failure right there.
If they agree to,
you trying to be freaky, but at the same time, that's gonna mess it up. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Albert. That's gonna mess it up right there. Because at the same time, you trying to entice them, but at the same time, it's gonna piss you off if they get more enticed with that person compared to you.
Yeah.
Because then at the same time, you laughing right now, but at the same time, you thinking about it. If you think about it, it's gonna make you mad.
Wait. Wait, what about, okay, I seen something online where I saw something like a porn where they had the first face and then you can morph it to another face while having sex with another person. Like, it has like a split screen where your partner is actually your partner while you're looking at another screen and it's another face. I don't know how it works, but yeah.
Can I say something on that? I don't want sister to say nothing on that one right there. I'll just say it. And I want you to say it. That's what you call a mercy fuck. It's not good because at the same time it's kinky. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not gonna be fulfilling after a while because it's gonna be fulfilling for that moment while you're trying to get yours. But at the same time, once you get yours and you actually record it or see it again, you're not gonna like it. Because it's one of those things. You know how they say you get what you put out there.
Yeah.
If you put it out there for somebody to judge it and people see it, you know how people like to put stuff out there publicly with what they've done.
Yeah.
They do it for that urge and for that that validation, like she was saying in the video. But at the end of the day, when you think about the feedback of if a lot of people see it, you're not gonna like the attention you get because at the same time, it's good for that moment for you when you're thinking like you're sexually enticed. But at the same time, is it really worth to embarrass yourself doing that just to get like maybe a nut or something like that. It's not.
Right. And sometimes, Deshaun, sometimes a partner they really don't want to do something, but they'll
Yeah.
do it to keep that boyfriend or girlfriend or their husband or wife. Sometimes they're not into some. Hold on, your thing is echoing. Sometimes
Oh.
sometimes they're just not into some things, but they will do it so they can hold on to their partner. But eventually it causes dissension and sometimes a breakup down the line because they were only agreeing to do stuff that you might do in an open relationship or whatever, or agree to, like you say, fellatio while the other one watches or whatever. If they both agree to it and they have no qualms and there's no issues or whatever, then that's fine. People can do what they want to do in their relationships, and they can make up whatever type of rules they want to make up for themselves. But if one is for it and the other one really is not for it, and they only are doing it, so they can keep that person or to make that person happy, then usually somewhere down the line, it's not going to work and it's going to cause dissension within that relationship. So I guess we'll go ahead and move on into our political realm. Miss Stevie, you ready to go? So
She fell asleep.
Oh my gosh, leave her alone. Leave her alone.
So I'm gonna play this little video here. It's like about 2 minutes long, and then y'all sound off on it, and then Miss Stevie may wake back up and pop back in. I don't know.
Oh, don't y'all play with my sister like that. Don't y'all do my
But
sister.
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
We'll talk to her. We might have to talk to her in the short stack in our chat and over on IG and in our private short chat.
Sister, if you fell asleep and you watching this, I had nothing to do with what they said.
Well, she knows. All right, I'll play this and then y'all sound off on what y'all think about this.
Mm-hmm. Been an unbelievable supporter. She gets almost as much as Mr. Wonderful over here. He's been another one that's been so good. But I'd like to ask you to come up, Nikki. Come on up. Come on. She's been such a great supporter and a great supporter of Trump accounts. And I said, I'm going to let my nails grow because I love those nails. I'm gonna let those nails grow.
I'm gonna let those nails grow.
She's so good. She's been MAGA. What can I say? She's been with us all the way, right, Alex? She's been with us all the way, and just want to thank her. And it wasn't so easy. For you, it was easier, right? You want to come up? You want to come up? Mr. Wonderful, come on up here. You've been terrific. Come on up.
Hello. Well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
social media. Speaking of this, we're on this topic because Nicki Minaj has been trending, over her.
Fuck her. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And all of them. The answer is no.
Oh my
And I don't care
God.
what that means. I'm out. No. Y'all know what's right. The people want their paper, right? He didn't pardon P. Diddy.
He was about to. He was gonna let P Diddy go. He was thinking about it, but then I'll keep him in jail. But then I was thinking, actually, P Diddy might get pardoned. He might get released out of jail. You'll see. Listen. Some of those sidekicks are saying, "Oh, he's gonna get pardoned," and people are gonna get distracted behind closed doors. Once you see him back in that court, he's gonna get out with them papers and walk out the door. But anyways,
So,
with Nicki Minaj, let's talk about it. Nicki
wait a
Minaj,
minute,
if you don't
Deshaun.
get your
Wait a minute,
totally
Deshaun.
partner, huh?
Deshaun, you remember when you sent me this video last week?
Yes.
You remember when
Yes.
you sent it to me in my text message, and not the short stack, but you sent it to me on my cell phone in my
Yes.
thing, and you sent it to me, and I said, "Oh my God, I hope his breath was fresh."
Yes, it was you. Yes, yeah, you did say that. I hope his breath was fresh.
Oh my
Because
God!
I'm telling you, I
when
think that woman was actually tortured when he did that. Probably melted her face.
that was that he. I mean, why would he? I mean, I like Billy Porter,
Fuck.
but why would he? Why would he do something like that? Like that close up in her face, and I mean, he could have spit on her.
And probably melted her eyebrows off.
Been hot. I mean, if his breath was bad, I mean, that was hilarious to me. But it was
that was so
funny. That was crazy.
When people show you who they are, believe them. When people show you, yeah, but people they do get, people got to get that paper. You know that, right?
Right.
Look at he didn't pardon Diddy. You know. Listen, I love that guy. I love him. He is hilarious. He is freaking. Billy Porter is just freaking hilarious. And did you see his performance with Mariah Carey?
No, I didn't watch the awards.
Cause you wanna be free, and I'ma let you fly. And she was like, "Look at my face." And she was like,
"Okay, hold on."
And then she tried to sing the words like, "You wanna be free, and it's yours." At least she's like, I guess. You know what I mean? The way her facial expressions was like. You gotta see her face. You gotta see her face.
I'll go back and check it out.
I got something I got to say on that because Deshaun said he to say, but I really got to say it's multiple comments I got to make.
Yeah.
Okay. Where should I start first? The Nicki Minaj thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to go then. I'll take Dumbass Boulevard for 5,000, please. Dumbass Boulevard, because that's where she lives at. I'm sorry. I'm going to just say it like that. Because at the same time, this is the same person who's a hypocrite and who always tries to talk down about everybody. But at the same time, honey, your life is not all that good because at the same time, aren't you married to a registered child molester?
Yeah.
Do we really want to go there?
Yes,
but at the same time, her doing that is career damage for herself. I don't wish nothing bad on her, but at the same time, she's already been digging a big hole for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the same time, remember when other people like Lil' Kim, Remy Ma, Cardi B, everybody's been warning about how her behavior really is.
Mhm.
And I think some of the people who are, even some people, I'm sorry, who are Barbs, I think some of the Barbs need to really pay attention because she doesn't care about a lot of y'all.
Mhm.
But
She
at the
don't care
same
about
time,
any
people
of
are
us.
giving her a chance. But it's like they're giving her a chance, but at the same time, she's just one of those, she's just a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now, when it comes to the Billy Porter thing, oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, Father God of mercy. Now, I kind of felt, I agree with y'all on that. Like, how was he really? Because we know he was taking a couple of sips. Now, I love him too. We know he was drinking, or in his words, he was thinking.
uh
But at the
oh
same
yeah.
time, come on, dude. Like, when you did that Mariah Carey tribute, you know you was wrong for that. Because, first of all, usually Billy Porter looked much more better than what he did on that, how he looked on the red carpet and everything else. And I
Mhm.
love him to death. Love him. But that wasn't hitting it. That wasn't hitting it. Let's keep it real. Those who are trying to sugarcoat it and be nice, let's keep it
I,
real.
I
Because
think he was
it wasn't all that.
I think he
And
was
as
trying to
far
get into the feminine side, like a Whitney
no,
Houston
no, it's nothing
remix
wrong.
with.
No, it's nothing wrong with him doing that because he's done that before on other stuff. But at the same time, that
Yeah.
just wasn't that just wasn't for the time right there. Because I feel
Mhm.
like if you're gonna do a Mariah Carey tribute, you be on point when you do something for Mariah.
True.
Because to me, if you want me to really be honest with you, the only people that actually, the only really Flo was the only ones that was actually on point that I could think of. J Hud did her thing, don't get it twisted, but I'm saying like for Flo, I feel like they were genuine when they did the tribute. Now when it comes to Billy Porter, I've heard that man sing. That man can really sing his ass off.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can
Like I
sing.
remember when he did the song "Love Is on the Way," that was from the first Wives Club movie.
Mhm.
I know that was his song before Celine Dion had that song.
Mm.
Which a lot of people don't know that, but I feel like at the end of the day, he's done stuff. I would never take
Right.
away his legendary status as what he does.
Mhm.
But I just feel like at the same time, when it comes to the whole thing, when it comes to Orange Face and Nicki
Nope.
No Naj, it ain't nothing going on because at the same time, I feel like she's gonna regret that sooner or later once she really sees how everything plays off. Because
Mhm.
he's really pimping her out. He's playing her.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's gonna come out like how they say, "What's done or done will come to light," and something milk ain't clean with that situation. So she think everything's going well for her. She's gonna look stupid. It's gonna be egg in her face after a while.
Mhm.
But she's playing him too. They all playing each other.
They're playing each other, but I feel
And
like at the same time, why play stupid when you know neither one of y'all care about each other? But at the same time,
right.
if you're trying to do this as like a comedy show, you all are idiots.
What I don't get, I mean, what gets me about all of this is these white Christian evangelicals, and even like all of those white MAGAs and stuff. They don't even like black folks. You know what I'm
I
Mm-mm.
saying?
agree.
They
I
don't
agree.
even like black folks. But then they'll find a few of us that they can parade up on stage. You know, like some raccoon. Really, she's a raccoon, not a raccoon. She's a raccoon. You
No, you
know,
said
Mhm.
it right. You said it right.
they'll find them and they'll get them up on stage. And then if you see them, they're just all clapping for her. They don't even like her music. You know,
They
it might
don't.
be younger,
Mm-mm.
white kids, you know, the generation that that likes her music, you know,
Yeah,
her
'cause
rap music and stuff.
yeah,
But those MAGAs and those white Christian evangelicals, they don't even listen to that type of
they
music,
don't. They
you
don't.
know, and truffle butter, you know, all of these different stuff, you know, the stuff that she says, you know, that a lot of people find offensive, you know, or whatever, and it's all sexual in nature, and it's and it can be degrading,
Mm-hmm.
and putting down women, putting down men,
Mm-hmm.
derogatory stuff, like that. I listen to I like ratchet music, but most of
We
those
all
white
like it,
people
but
who
it's
are
like
most
you
of
have to
those
know your limits.
most of those white people who are in MAGA and so-called Christian Republicans, evangelical Christians, that's not the type of stuff they use. But they'll find one or two raccoons, and they'll parade them across stage, and all of a sudden they're loving her. Which Diamond which one is she? Is Nikki Diamond or is she Silk? with her grifting just like the rest of them up there.
You gave me a
You
good
know?
one. You gave me a good attack. Can
So-
I use this attack on her?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, this is not a bad attack, but let's keep it real. Can she raise her hand and say she has a Grammy? No, she cannot.
No, she doesn't. You know, but you heard Trump when he said, you heard hold on a second. You heard Trump when he said she's always been a MAGA and stuff. And we got, you know, and that irks me because it's like black folks are just like turning against, you know, they're just turning against us for money and power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's sad because in the end, they're coming for them too. You know, they're not going to be safe. Nobody's going to be safe. You know, and then for them to get up there, you know, get up on stage and say this type of stuff, and then the stuff that's going back and forth, you know, in the comments, when you read the different comments of the stuff that's Nikki's saying or people saying about her, you know, it's sad that they would turn against us, because in the end, those white people, once they get through with her, and once they get through with the other ones who do this type of cooning, you know, once they get through with them, you know, then Stacey Dash, you know, when they get through with them, then they want Omarosa, you know, they want to come back to us for protection.
Because
you know,
they live, but Alvin, dear, let's keep it real. They live on Dumbass Boulevard and Jackass Street.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. And you know what?
It's crazy.
The thing is, these people are illiterate, because the thing is, they don't do their research, and the saddest part is they got cell phones to know what the plan is. The thing is, these celebrities just go with wherever the money flows, wherever they think or hear,
Whatever the wind
and whatever
flows.
it is, and then they just go with it. Because the thing is, 1 minute they're Republican, 1 minute they're Democrat, and then they switch over to Republican. Then once things go wrong with the way that they see, oh, this is not right, then they want to jump back to Democrat. Why are you going back there when we just told you about what was going to happen? We just told you that this was all made for dictatorship of what Trump is doing. And not only that, he doesn't want to just be a dictator. He's going to be a one world leader. The thing is, he's starting these fires. He's creating these fires of creating leaders, fighting with leaders. The thing is, he's playing chess by having everyone fight each other. He's trying to steal resources while those leaders are trying to fight each other. As you see, Donald Trump, he actually created war with the Ukraine and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like he froze.
He was just so excited. He didn't know what he was just so excited he had to freeze up on him.
I'm so sorry. The Russian leader that got bombed. I'm sorry. I'm back. The Russian leader that got bombed, they blamed Ukraine for it. Because the thing is, someone bombed the Russian leader over there, and then it caused war with Ukraine. The Ukrainians had nothing to do with what happened over in the military of what happened at that bombing. So he's starting these wars and these little fires because he's trying to create a Trump regime. He's trying to set all these ridiculous laws. Remember, the thing is, he's trying to erase the Epstein files and everything else of him. He is exposing other people, but he's not going to get involved in those Epstein files because he's trying to erase so that he can become the good president, knowing that we know that you're part of the Epstein files because it just came out a couple days ago that you was with Epstein, helping with these girls, sneaking these girls in and out and all that other stuff with Epstein.
But a lot of that was public knowledge anyway before it came out anyway. So it's not like if he tries to erase it, it's not going to work out for him because you know how that, like Nene Leakes said, you never win when you're being dirty.
Right.
So if you never win, right? You know, it may look like he's winning dirt, like he's being dirty and he's winning right now. But watch how everything will come to the effect of where it's gonna come back in his face, and he's gonna look so stupid, and then he's gonna try to do the blame game like he always does. But at the same time, I don't give Orange Face that much attention because at the same time, he doesn't even deserve my energy or my time.
So what do y'all think is the real reason? Hold on, Deshaun. Um, what do y'all think is the real reason for all of this with this ICE stuff and um, Trump? So I'll just say, I think I think Trump wants to, which we've said before, but I think Trump wants to incite a riot, a riot, so he can bring in the Insurrection Act, the Insurrection Act of 1807.
He already did over in
He already did that.
Minneapolis.
But see the thing
Right
with
in
him is that
Minneapolis.
He
it's
hasn't
the
bought it
hypocrisy.
completely in yet. He hasn't bought it completely in yet. He's using ICE. He's using them, but he hasn't actually bought in the military.
But see, he's a hypocrite because at the same time, you bring it in ICE, but at the same time, bring ICE on your family because your family are not U.S. citizens. Let's keep it real.
Mm-hmm. And
Neither is
also,
his
like,
wife and none of that. So it's like if you're gonna try and bring ICE on other people's families, let's dig in your family's box of what you have going on. Because at the same time, you're doing this. This may look like you're trying to get rid of other people, but watch how it's gonna come. Like I was saying, it's gonna come back on him. It's taking its time to come back on him, but the people who support him, who are brainwashed by his stupidity, are gonna really see because a lot of people who voted for him and who are saying this stuff, they're saying he's comedy, he's hilarious, but is he comedy and hilarious when he's coming after your own family who may be immigrants?
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're gonna talk about you support him, be careful how you say things because it's not about what you say, it's how you say it.
yeah. And also, like, he's trying to also take down journalists. Like, for instance, he took down Don Lemon almost, tried to put him in jail. And also, not only that, he had these people, these secret people, whatever these people are. You seen the video of that white guy standing in this other man's hotel, a journalist. He's trying to silence journalists by using these either ICE people or some kind of whatever these men are. This man was wearing like a black hat and he was wearing all black clothes. Like, you see what you're doing, right? We will actually punish you for saying things like that. Like, this is freedom of speech. He's a journalist. This is what he does. You mean, because the thing is, he was telling the truth on it, and you're trying to shut him down because of what he was saying, and or you trying to do things to this man? You should see the video.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
seen it. But see, at the same time with him, the whole thing about it is that I guarantee you, if we don't give it that much attention on certain stuff, how the stupidity of what he's trying to do, I guarantee you he will have something else to talk about. And I feel like if we keep bringing it attention about how he's trying to shut people down and we don't give it that much attention, watch how stupid things will be for him. He won't have nothing to discuss. He want us to talk about this.
So you think
But
it's by design?
I feel like that's what it is because I feel like at the same time when he's doing stuff a lot, he wants us to talk about stuff like, don't get me wrong, Don Lemon didn't do nothing wrong. Don Lemon did what he felt like he was supposed to do. But I feel like if we keep doing it where we keep talking about how you feel about journalists. If we don't I guarantee you, we don't bring it up, but we don't report it. None of us talk about it. I guarantee you, he's gonna shut down because he only comes by when it comes to attention. When you give him the attention that he wants, he's gonna react a certain way. So I feel like if we don't give him the attention, it's basically like how they try to say, like when it comes to watching TV about certain stuff that's demographic for kids and everything. If you don't watch it, or you tell your kids don't watch it, and if you guys just make it a point of not watching what's out there, I guarantee you it won't get the attention that it needs.
So,
But I do think some stuff when it comes to ICE and everything that's being talked about is important. But I guarantee you, when it comes to stuff about he's calling out journalists, he's doing this and that, that's stupid and pointless to even be bringing it up, saying a special report about that. That's the stupidest thing we could be talking about because I feel like he's a human reality. he's still thinking that he's on The Apprentice. You're not on The Apprentice anymore, sir.
But well, here's the thing though. There's levels to this, because they're actually following Mussolini's and Hitler's playbook. So if you notice, once in Germany, once they silence the people, silence the journalists, take control of different government entities, like here, the Supreme Court, they have they have the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court. So, on their side, they have, not quite half, but they have, a little bit under half of the population as MAGAs that's on their side, the religious right, different, they got the corporations, they're silencing the journalists. That's all part of how they take control and turn your country into an authoritarian dictatorship country. And so it's by design, it's by plan. So they're following exactly what they want you to do. And once they get us scared enough where we start allowing this, which I don't know about y'all, but white folks is crazy.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not crazy. No. Let's correct that.
They're putting up with a little bit of it right now. But
no, hold a minute, Alvin. Hold a minute. They're not crazy.
Folks,
they're being themselves.
They're being themselves. But eventually, they'll burn this country down before they actually let the government actually take over their lives and stuff. Right now, they're getting away with it or whatever. So Trump, he don't know how crazy. He should know because he's crazy, but he don't know. But eventually, those white folks, because there's more of them than it is of us, So eventually, they're out there protesting and stuff now, but eventually, their crazy is going to come out.
That's because he's trying to make everything
before they let the government take away their rights and stuff, like that. They will, and they've done it before. We've seen it. We've seen it with, the Tea Party and all of them and stuff, like that. But they'll go and they'll burn that government down before they let. It might take a while, and it's going to do a lot of harm to us first, but eventually they'll get there, and they'll, Trump's going to be in for a rude awakening somewhere down the line. We just got to get there. We haven't gotten there yet, but it's all by design to me, and they're following right along with Mussolini's and Hitler's playbook, because they've done all this exact same stuff, and Trump is doing the same stuff, and he didn't learn from history for some reason, and I think in his mind, he thinks he can get away with this, and he can follow those exact same playbooks. But for some reason, in his narcissistic mind, he thinks that he's different, and somewhere in his mind, he thinks that the people in America, they just really love him, and most people don't, but he thinks he can get away with this, and then he might, he's trying to incite the Insurrection Act, and I know that there's a lot of black folks out there who are standing, and I understand both sides of it, where the black folks say we're not coming out, we need to stay home and stuff, let the white folks deal with this and let them do it this time because we're tired. And I understand that and stuff too, but I think this time it's not we're not gonna be able to stay home. Because they're coming for all of us, and we already see where they're going into the neighborhoods, and they're dragging people, knocking down their doors, pulling them out the cars. They're going in there, dragging them out of their house.
Because they're inciting.
So eventually, black folks are not going to be safe, even though they say stay home, but it's not going to work because we're and they don't want to join forces with the white folks. And I understand, because white folks a lot of times are not there for us either.
Yeah,
but
they're two-faced.
This time it really is different. It really is different. And if we don't actually come out there and fight for our rights and stuff in this country, and the country is torn apart, then we're accomplices in that game, because we do live here. We were born here. This is our country, and it hasn't always treated us right. Most of the time, it hasn't treated us right. But this time, I think, I do think it's different. It's not like in the past where we say, oh, we're not going to go out and protest. We're not going to go this. And to be honest, black folks have never protested with white folks. White folks has never protested with black folks. Black folks have never protested with Hispanics, Mexicans. They never protest. Asians never come out really to protest. But, Indians, indigenous, most of them never come out and protest. Usually you're going to see either blacks, Hispanics, or whites out protesting, and the groups never really merge. Blacks will protest for, we'll protest for our issues and stuff like that. Whites protest for whatever issues. Hispanics, Mexicans, stuff, they'll come out and protest for their issues, and none of us really merge. You always find a sprinkle of us, a handful of us in each of the protests, but you're not going to find a large number of blacks protesting with whites. So us black folks staying home, that ain't nothing new, because we never protested with them anyway, and they've never protested with us really, except for the ones that do. There's always a handful that will do it. But this time, we really are going to have to merge with the white folks, and get out in large numbers to show this government that you cannot take away our rights and you cannot oppress us and throw this country into an authoritarian nation, governed by crazy people, it's like we're living in I've said it before, it's like we're living in a pathocracy. We're governed by lunatics, crazy people, narcissists, and some people think it's a joke, or some people think, well, it's not going to happen to me, but it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen to you, it might happen to your mama, or it might happen to your neighbor, or it might happen to your son. It's going to affect all of us somewhere down the line, and we're going to have to come out. And some people can't protest, but most of us can. And until they see us in large numbers, this is just going to get worse and worse and worse. And I know people are saying to black folks, you shouldn't, if you black, you should not be out there protesting and stuff, like that. But at some point, we're going to have to get rid of that, and we're going to have to get out there, because they're going to be knocking on your door, because they're doing it now.
Yeah, because they are knocking on your door. They are definitely in certain places of where you're at. And the thing is, Donald Trump is trying to own certain states to make it into a police state, or should I say an ICE state. He's trying to create a martial law, global totalitarianism, tyranny, all that, to have people in fear and all that. So if you don't do what he says, then there's hell to pay. Because, that man is a freaking lunatic, and that's exactly what he is. And like I said, you don't see no other presidents doing that except him. He's the only one that does that. And it's really sad that these people voted for him because of, for lowering the prices of eggs, going back to the good old days, people saying all this nonsense, don't believe in empathy. Meanwhile, all the stuff that freaking Charlie Kirk says, and then he got shot. Now we have to do a sense of empathy. Screw you. This is the problem that I have. These are narcissists. Majority of these people are narcissists, and majority of these people are followers. And some of these people actually, let's just say this, half of these people that used to be side with us, that went over to the other side instead of standing on their ground and standing 10 toes down, are the most weakest people I've ever seen. Because the thing is, if you did that, like half of the people that sided with us and then went over to the Republicans, you deserve everything you get through the soul and the spirit. You deserve everything you get. You deserve the suffrage. Women, you deserve everything of these narcissistic men beating you down, trying to force you to take your rights away, not having, and if you don't have their baby and all that, you're going to suffer for it, or you don't have, because they have every right to your body. That's on you. That's on you. Because the thing is, you chose this. You chose this. You did it. You did it. You don't know who you're dating. That's crazy or weird or do weird things. You don't know the man's mind. So again, I have no remorse for you, none whatsoever, because it don't make no sense. And then you want to come back and fucking say I need help because this man is crazy. I don't want to have his baby, but I'm stuck with him. Well, too late. Too late. Like it is what it is. And then on top, and then not only that, like I said, some of these men are just freaking, oh, we need a vote because of the trans, the kids don't need to know about this. Meanwhile, you force people's sexuality on the children. That's pedophilia. Again, either way, it's pedophilia because the thing is, you can't stop pedophilia because the thing is, if you did, you would have all the people in jail. You don't have women in jail. These women are getting pregnant by 13-year-olds. Actually, I actually saw that article, and actually the woman was actually wearing a red suit where, they were actually saying, oh, it's okay. They was about to freaking drop the case because she was pregnant with this kid's baby. These are narcissists, and these people are pimping children, but they want to blame the LGBT for it. Make that make sense. And then people have these selective outrage and all this bullshit that's going on. Meanwhile, like I said, we got the Epstein files. I just saw my friend had a phone of Epstein with a boy, a couple of these celebrities. He had a painting of some kind of portrait, right? And if you put it upside down, it's like the devil or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, and I said to myself, listen, that all that other stuff, all that shit that was going on, they brought about 1,000 kids up in that island. I told you that they created an energy of the devil's energy, and it gotten so strong it came out your phone. If you're saying that the devil came around, you felt evil around you. Those kids was killed. Those kids was the blood was drinking from them. All that other stuff that was going. You don't know what the heck was going on up in there. There was a whole lot of shit that was going on. It wasn't not just things that they were doing in there. It wasn't just sex. There was more. There was a whole lot of things. If these kids didn't do what they say, they get punished for it. They were snagged out these families' houses and never was seen again. Boys, girls, all of them, all the way down to 13, 12, 10, all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a Slick put in the question, did you hear about the boy that was in there? But Slick, I think there was a whole lot of boys. They just not talking about them. A lot of times they don't talk about boys that have been sexually molested, and sometimes like a lot of boys, even when once they grow up into men, it's embarrassing to them for people to think that their masculinity might have been compromised.
And
that their masculinity might have been compromised, or that they've been molested or whatever, so they don't come forward. A lot of men won't come forward like women do, like a lot of women might come forward. But I believe that there are a lot of men, a lot of boys that were molested and stuff too. Because a lot of times with these pedophiles, sometimes just say they're heterosexual, and then they might start off molesting young girls and stuff like that. But once they start getting into their addiction phase, they need more and more to keep that addiction going. And then they'll start messing around with boys or whatever to fulfill that addiction. Some of them will mess around with animals or shoes or toys. They do all type of stuff to keep those addictions and stuff going. And these rich and powerful people, they had the money to hush this up. And I believe Jeffrey Epstein had something on him anyway. He probably was like P. Diddy, sitting out there, videotaping all the different acts and stuff that they were doing, so that he also had stuff on them to keep them quiet, and plus they were big donors. A lot of them had money and stuff, like that. So they're donating to his causes or whatever, and he might be donating to them and stuff. So it's so much wrapped up up in this, but it was a pedophile ring, just like what's going on with P. Diddy, you know, and or sexual. I know there was sexual trafficking and all that type of stuff going on. These a lot of them were you know, just narcissistic and very, you know, malignant, pathological narcissists, and that's what's running our country right now. A lot of those ones in the Republican Party are that way. Just that's how you know, we find out they pass laws and stuff against us, you know, against gays, trans. They take away our rights and want to pass laws against us. But we find out that most of them, not most of them, but a good number of them are actually having sex with trans, picking up trans and stuff, you know, paying trans, paying escorts, male escorts, and you know, picking up boys on Grindr. Now, what gets me is with this Republican convention, Grindr always crashes, and Grindr is mostly a app for white people. You know, mostly it's white men on Grindr. You never hear about Jack. You know, you never hear about Jack crashing, because Jack has, you know, is mostly black and brown people, right? You know, and some of the white people who like the blacks and browns. But Grindr always crashes during these different conventions that these Republicans have. But Jack never does, you know. But it tells you that there's a lot of white men over on Grindr, you know, picking up these escorts or picking up boys for sex at the and bringing them to the hotels or meeting them places, you know, random download stuff or whatever. And then the sites and stuff crash. But these are the same exact people who pass laws against us. And some of those ones are actually log-cabin Republicans. You know,
and
they pass these laws against us. So when it comes down to it, you know, these white gay men, they put their whiteness above their gayness. You know, it's just like with black folks. You know, sometimes with black folks, we'll put black before gay, and just like, because we'll get black folks who don't vote for us either. You know, but they want us to come out and protest with them when there's issues and stuff that's happening where black people are being shot or killed in the street, or black women are being abused, you know, whatever. And then black people will come out and protest, and us gays, us queers, us trans, whatever, we're out there with them, you know, in droves. We're out there in large numbers protesting because we're black and gay. But when it comes to gay people, there's black people, they won't vote. They don't vote for us. Sometimes they don't vote for our civil rights. They will not come out and protest with us. You know, when gays and trans or queers are being killed or beaten or murdered or whatever, but we're out there with them. You know, so we got a lot of shit going on in this community, in the United States, with a lot of unfairness. You know, and then there's my question up there. It says, should black people participate? You know, and are we safe, or were we always the real target? You know, because I do believe that I believe that even though they're dragging Hispanics and locking them up and dragging them out and stuff, you know, like that, I still believe that we are the real target. You know, they're doing all of this so they can eventually get to us, and they want to get us out on the street, because once they get us out on the street, then they can let the military loose on us, because then they can say, oh, it's, you know, the thugs, you know, how they like to label us as thugs. They can say the thugs are out there, you know, the riots, they're rioting, they're doing this and doing that. You know, they might take a few white people out in the process, but really they want to get us out there. And the sad thing is, we're going to eventually have to get out there, because we're not going to be safe in our homes anyway, because they're coming and knocking out your windows and your doors and dragging you out of your house and your cars and from your jobs, you know. So and the other question I have is, what does doing nothing look like? If we don't do nothing and we stay home and then we just say stuff on the internet, you know, we just, you know, post, you know, we do post and have panel discussions and do stuff on the internet, but we don't actually get out there and put our bodies and stuff on. I mean, I hate to say it like that, you know, but we get out there and protest and demand things and fight back. What does it look like if we do nothing? I mean, what do y'all have to say about that?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because the thing is, they're gonna get you either way.
Basically.
So either way, you gotta make your voice heard somewhere out sooner or later. Because the thing is, you gotta go out there. You need to create something where, if you're out there, you need to, make yourself and your voice heard of these people, because these people do not care. You know what I mean? And you need to really, step 10 toes down on what you believe, on what's going on in this country for 400 years of all the disrespect that has been done for all the tribes that was here that built this country. No matter who you are, no matter what sexuality, it doesn't matter. Everyone, we built this country. We did. We have done the work, and we still haven't got no recognition. I can't pronounce it.
Recognition.
Recognition. No recognition.
Recognition.
There it is. No recognition for anything for this long. And now they're trying to erase everything from the books, from the history books of what Black people have done, or all the suffrage that they have done. And, it's just unfortunate, but we need to start having our voice heard and bringing all this stuff back, because they're just taking away and trying to rewrite history, thinking that, oh, this was a choice on us. White people got nothing to do with it. Oh, we ain't got nothing to do with it. That's your fault. We ain't got nothing to do with it. So don't blame us for your trauma, slavery trauma. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, you're gonna just, we need all of our stuff. We need money. We need all of the monies. We need like about $1 trillion that you owe us for all of the pain and suffrage that you actually put on us for this long.
Yeah, because if they'll shoot a white person, if a white person, they're used to shooting us in the street and nothing happening. They're used to, beating us up in the streets or we protest. They're used to doing that. They're used to doing that. You're not really used to seeing a white people getting shot in the face, on the street, or shot 10 times like Petty. You don't usually see that. You usually see them do that to us. You usually see them do that to us, and then we get out and protest and stuff like that. And you might find a handful of them that'll protest with us, but most of them don't come out. They sit around and call us thugs, or that we must have done something in order for them to have to kill us or do stuff, like that. But now that they're seeing, these white people were seeing white people being killed. Now they're like, we're starting to see what Black folks feel, or what Black folks have been going through, or whatever. And so now it's like, so why are they needing us now when they, when it was happening to us on a large scale, they weren't really out there for us, And then after, now that they're killing these white folks, who's next? We see them killing the Hispanics, and some Hispanics think they're white too. So,
that's true.
But so if they're killing the white folks, why do we think that that we're not next? Because they've been killing us all along. So do we still think, that us sitting at home, that it's not going to keep them from coming to us? And and then what about the division? If we're this divided, which America has always been divided between races. The country was built on racism. Racism and sexism, and you throw homophobia in there too, because for all that time they had laws against us. But if we're really this divided now, how can we, I mean, it looks like it might be America's decline, because the Americans can't come together.
And not
Go ahead,
only
take.
that, we're gonna lose all the money because the thing is, because of all this distraction that's going on, these people of these leaders are just taking our money left and right. The taxes is gonna go higher, higher, higher. Because the thing is, meanwhile, while these people are doing all this stupid shit that's going on with sexism, boy versus girl, man versus woman, and all that other bullshit, white versus black, we are the dominant, all this bullshit that's going on, instead of just dropping that shit, coming together and trying to figure out what the fuck we can do together. No, they just want to ignore that, fight one another, do the other shit because they're so selfish. Humans are the most selfish freaking people on this damn planet. I'm sorry. Humans are the most, I'm going to have to say this because I don't care. Humans are the most selfish, ignorant, degenerate, the most evilest people on this planet. It doesn't make any sense why it's like this, but it is what it is. And the saddest part is they're getting distracted from the real thing of what's going on. These leaders are already taking our money. Remember, Trump is helping them, or Trump is just taking the money for himself and laughing all the way to the bank. Because the thing is, he's removing all of this. He's removing people's health care. He's taking away removing Tylenol. Why are you removing Tylenol? Now he's also removing freaking meds. He's moving meds, and not only that, he ain't even done PrEP.
That's because humans are able to reason. Okay, unlike most species, humans are able to reason, and with that ability to be able to reason, we can think about destruction, and we can think about good and evil, what's good and what's evil, what's bad and what's good. We're able to reason. So that's why to answer your earlier question. Go ahead, K-Tubes. What you got to say?
Deshaun already said everything. I felt he might have said a little bit more in depth, but it's just like now it's like to the point we're hearing it back and forth about everything going on. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up, sometimes it kind of irks my nerves to hear this back and forth because we've been dealing with this for a long time before he got back into this office. So it's to the point where it's like it's like a catch-22 where I feel like we're repeating history instead of trying to make history.
Yeah, and
because really it's emotionally draining me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That we have to keep making these, talk about this, but at the same time, there's other people who don't even try to even want to hear it because you know how they said the news is depressing, they don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, even with me, like, y'all know y'all love y'all, so it has nothing to do with y'all. But being in the panel, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, am I really going through this? Is this really messing with mental? But at the same time, I have to realize that sometimes we want to hear stuff, but sometimes it's just the point where you have to sometimes listen, but don't react. Because I feel like some of us we're reacting the right way with how we feel, but I feel like there are going to be some who are just because you can, like Alvin can say something, or Deshaun may say something, or maybe when Miss Stevie was saying something, we're going to feel, or what I say, you're going to feel the way you feel, but at the same time, just because we feel like it doesn't mean that it's going to make other people want to get out and do it. Because sometimes we can make our points, but at the same time, people are going to do whatever they want to do, regardless of if they agree with it or not. So it's like sometimes, like you said, will this end or like other stuff like that? It's kind of like hard to really say, like to really be like 100. I'm not going to be like on that fake crap.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just kind of wonder, is this messing with my mental? I think that's probably why some people, like you see, they don't like watching news and they want to be distracted from something else.
I think will this end? It will eventually end, but it might be years from now. But I think it's going to get a lot worse before it starts better. And I know that's a cliche to say, but yeah, it's going to have to get worse, and then the nation is going to have to feel the pain before we all actually come to one accord and have to fight this government, and we're going to have to fight this government in so many ways. We're going to have to fight it verbally, some of us with our bodies, some of it through the media, some of it through social media, protesting, everything is going to have to come into play to fight this regime, because that's what this is. This is an authoritarian regime, and he's following, they are following Hitler's playbook, and some of them are doing it for different reasons. Trump is a grifter. It's all about greed with him. It's all about greed with him. With the religious right, it's like it's all about the second coming. And none of them are really follow Jesus. A lot of them think that Jesus was white, and they probably, if there's a God, they probably would think that God was white like them also. But they're not really true Christians. They're more of, especially these ones that are out there now, they're more of white supremacist Christians, where they think the nation, that's what they're in it for, where the nation should be cleansed of all the other people on the earth except for white people, and the ones of us that are here, then we should, we need to be subservient and back to slavery with them. That's what they're in it for. Trump is really using them. They're using Trump. Trump's using them, and the Republicans and stuff, so they can all get out of it what they want. Trump is a racist, but he's into it more for the greed, and the rest of them, a lot of the rest of them are in for the second coming or whatever, the second coming, and the other ones are into it for, we need to make this nation pure because it was meant to be white and not all of these other ethnicities up in here, and so I would say that we're in a burning house, and if we don't get this fire put out, okay, it's going to burn the house down, and then it's going to have to be rebuilt again, and who the hell knows what it's going to look like. I'll probably be dead in that time, by the time they can put this nation back. Because once you go into an authoritarian nation and you get your rights, when your civil rights and your privileges and your humanity is taken away, and then your authoritarian government is controlling you or whatever and stuff, people come complacent and they come to accept that type of stuff, living under that type of rule. And then it can take, a century to get your country back, if you ever get it back, and then the people before us, because Kenneth, you said you're tired and stuff, like that, and we get tired, I thought my protesting days and stuff was over, but now I've been having to put myself back out there. I was like, once Trump was out of office and stuff, I was like, okay, we can get back to the regular crazy of the United States, not this over the top crazy. We can just get back to the regular crazy. I don't have to be out here protesting, doing all of this type of stuff, and you get tired and stuff, like that. But even though we get tired, it's like our ancestors stuff. They were tired and stuff too, but they didn't give up. They kept, they knew that if they gave up, that
nothing would be resolved.
Yeah, and you're right. And then we wouldn't have the rights and all of the stuff that we have now if they gave up, and that's even some of the good white folks back then that actually helped us too, But our ancestors, they were tired, they were beaten, they were humiliated, and some of them were killed and stuff. But the ones that were alive, they were tired, but they didn't give up. And I don't think that we should forget our history and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people in this nation that doesn't even know their history. There's some people in the nation who want to forget our history, and there's some people in the nation who have died, and the history has died out with them. But we got a large growing population now who don't even know about our history and what it means to fight, and to put your bodies on the line and to get out there and protest or to petition your senators and to petition your government. A lot of them don't know that, and a lot of them don't even care to know that, because now a lot of people are into the grifting greed phase themselves. There's a lot of us blacks, a lot of us who only think about money or what they can get out, what they can make or whatever, and you forget about your fellow man. And with that way of thinking, you're putting all of us in harm, and then eventually it's going to be too late, maybe for this century.
Mm-hmm.
So, the left haven't learned much, I don't think, or maybe it's also time to find new groups. Yeah, and some of them are so, the Democrats, the left, a lot on the left, and that includes a lot of us who are sitting home, or whatever. But it's like they're not. A lot of us aren't doing anything to, to fight Trump and them, to fight the Republicans and to fight this regime. A lot of us aren't doing. I guess we think that it's everything's eventually going to be okay, and maybe I'm a pessimist or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I don't think this time, because the other times it kind of worked out. It wasn't exactly 100% the way we liked it or wanted it or whatever, but it wasn't this bad. This time, I don't think it's going to work out for us or for anybody. I think the nation's going to be torn apart because of this crazy person and the other neurotics that's in office that are that are in control of this nation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it says, I got up here, what does accountability look like with a rogue, lawless administration and complicit Supreme Court? Because they have the House, they have the Senate, and they have the Supreme Court. The Democrats really don't have anything, which is going to be mostly the Democrats and the independents are mostly what makes up the majority of this nation, as far as keeping it America the free, because the Republicans would have us back in chains if it was up to them, and they're making money off of us, they would have it that way, But when we talk about accountability, like Slick put up here, about the the left, well, what does it, if we try to hold them accountable and hold the Republicans accountable, what does it look like? Because we don't have anybody on our side. We
don't. It's going to be to the point where it's going to be a contradiction, really.
Yeah. What accountability is going to, I think what accountability is going to look like is it's going to come down to the Second Amendment. Everybody's going to be out there, even the ones who don't have guns or weapons and stuff like that. It's going to come down to a battle, to a fight. And that's not what I'm advocating. That's not what I want to see or whatever. But I do believe this time it's going to come down to not just the military and the policemen and the ICE and them with their guns and their weapons and stuff, but the Americans are going to have to arm themselves, or the ones that do, because a lot of us, I don't, but a lot of people do have arms. They're gonna end up coming out, and it's gonna be the, not just Trump wants to bring about the Insurrection Act, but Thomas Jefferson, he also talked about the people in the Insurrection Act. When you have to come out and fight your rogue government, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what accountability is going to look like, because the Supreme Court, they're not on our side, and if you notice, they're constantly, voting in Trump's favor, because a lot of them are also white supremacists. You know what I mean? news, K-Tooks? What about you, Deshaun?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like if we don't stand up now, we're gonna lose everything, and it's gonna go to majority of the Republicans, and it's gonna turn into some kind of regime and all that other stuff. Like it's gonna take over. Like they're gonna take over, and that's it. And we won't have. We're gonna turn to powerless people if we don't get this straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I just can't believe that it came to this.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want it to come to this, but I believe that it was because they've been planning this for so long. We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
How they, how they've been planning this all the way back since even before Reagan and stuff. They've had this all in the works. And that it's been their long game. It's been their long game. All along. So. But I do think that Trump, I do think that Trump is following Hitler's playbook, and I think accountability is not going to come about until it might be years later when Trump is no longer in office, and if the Democrats or another party can come up and be a viable party and vote the Republicans them out of office, because I do think that Trump is planning on stealing this election again, and then during the midterms and stuff, they're going to send ICE and them out there to scare people away, beat up people. They'll be out there probably shooting and tear gassing people, scaring them away from the polls. You know what I mean? And so that they can basically rig the election and stuff again. And even though we might have an election, if the Democrats still might not, if they don't gain power, even if we could, we're going to have to come out in so large a number to overcome anything what Trump and them Republicans are going to do. And because I don't think Trump, like everybody is saying too, I don't think Trump is planning on leaving office, and the Republicans going to help. Even if he dies in office, they're going to put somebody else in that, Vance or whoever, that's just as that's just like Trump or worse in office, where they maintain power for so long, and the Supreme Court and them is helping them, So I don't think accountability will come to pass until years later, just like in the Nuremberg trials. You remember, they had, and that's when they started prosecuting those Nazis and stuff who had killed people, and put people in concentration camps and stuff. It was years later, maybe 5-6 years later, I can't remember, might have been 10 years later, once they started the Nuremberg trials or whatever, that they started holding people accountability. And so some of these people, like, these ones out here now, who are even the ones who are advocating for this violence, Kristi Noem, all of them, are out there who are over these ICE agents and stuff, and getting up on TV and telling these lies, spreading these this lies about what ICE is doing and stuff, and then they're condoning these killings and throwing innocent people and legal citizens and doing all that stuff into jail and putting them in jail and stuff, which is basically like concentration camps, sending them off to other countries like El Salvador and places like that, taking citizens or people who have, who have legal papers and stuff, and they're sending them away and beating them and doing all of this type of stuff. These people are going to be held accountable, but it might be years from now, and it'll probably be just like the Nuremberg trials. You know what I mean? And then where there will be accountability, and some of them are up on the news and up there, boasting and saying all of this with this hateful rhetoric and these lies and stuff. But some of them will come, they're accomplices. So, and they'll eventually get theirs unless they die before it happens. whatever, but they need jail time and stuff too. And these ICE people who are out here killing, they're going to eventually have to come to trial. Trump will probably be dead, but still, that's my thought on that. What about you guys? Y'all got anything on that?
Nope.
Deshaun?
Cases of them, because I think you posted that before, like there was 50 cases of killings of these victims from ICE, and that's already a handful already of people dead because of the murders, like all the immigrants, couple of black people too that you can mix in there, because I haven't heard any black people in those names, because I know that there was black people that was killed in there, and also Hispanics, whites too. We already know about the whites one where the woman got her head blown off, and then the Alex got killed and stuff like that. But there was more reports after that. So the thing is, it's kind of like the damage has been done. They need to answer for their crimes. They really do. But if Trump is in office and you have these freaking megas that are like, oh, they're in the wrong, and knowing that there wasn't in the wrong, then we're not going to get anywhere.
So who's coming to save us? So with the United States, if our allies, Trump is turning our allies against us. We've already had some
black people.
Yeah. And so he's turning other nations and stuff against us, and he's becoming allies with corrupt nations and corrupt dictators and stuff, like that. So if we turn our allies, our international allies and stuff against us, who's coming to save us when we start burning down our country?
Like you said, that's a hard one to really answer, because like you said, like how Deshaun was saying earlier, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Mm-hmm. And do you think the midterms? You think it would be? We might not even get to the midterms. You know what I'm saying?
It's right now. It's kind of hard to say because they keep bringing it up a lot, but at the same time, like how you put in the question, what's it going to take for us to act?
Right.
Is there going to be people going out when it comes to midterms? When it comes to doing those midterm voting, like you said, like how you about to get into questions like the church, the courts, or our global allies, like talking about NATO and everything. It's really hard to really answer those questions because right now we're at a state of uncertainty. So it's like we don't know for sure. We're assuming that we're going to get some of those stuff taken care of from one of those, like from those multiple actions, but right now it's a question mark in my opinion.
Yeah. And then with Trump trying to attack Greenland and take away Greenland and stuff like that, well, you jack with Greenland and just say he takes over Greenland or whatever, and some of those other, there goes NATO. There goes NATO. And our allies, what is it? I think it's like 32. We got like 32 allies out there. Some, some of them in NATO and some of them non-NATO. But they're out there. But if they're slowly pulling away from us because of Trump, and then these Republican policies, and they see what they're doing, and and how they're stripping people of their humanity and stuff, like that. Are we going to end up in another world war?
We pray that we don't. We pray that we don't. But you never, like I said, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. And also, like I said, like he's trying to create a civil war. Like he's trying to create a state where it's like an ICE state, where like if you don't comply or you don't assimilate to whatever he's saying, if you don't assimilate to whatever, like let's just say he's stripping what your character is, he's stripping everything of who you are to create this militia of people thinking the same like him and other people that are narcissists. I don't want to be a narcissist. I don't want to think like other people because I care too much about other people's lives. I care too much about people that wants to get out of the out of the out of the way they are. Like they don't want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Who wants to be a father? Who wants to be a father? Who wants to do all of that? That's too much work. Why can't And the thing is, you can learn from it and then use that as something else.
Well said. I agree.
And so, what do y'all think about the Second Amendment? Do y'all think that the Second Amendment was who do y'all think the Second Amendment was meant for?
White folks.
There you go. Thank you.
It's not for
Naughty
black
white
folks.
folks.
Because the thing is, what they're doing is it's only for white folks. It's not for black folks. Because if black folks get it into their hand, if they get the guns, then we're going to be called terrorists.
Mm-hmm. Thugs, yeah, and they don't want us to have the gun because you notice, if you look at back in history or whatever, long as white folks was allowed to carry around their white rifles and cannons and weapons and machine guns and whatever, they were allowed to do that. But once black folks, started the Black Panthers, different gangs and stuff, or just people in general up in Chicago and stuff. Once they come out with their guns on the street, then they want to send the police out, and then they turn it against us, like the reason why they can shoot us, whatever. Even though we might legally have a permit to carry, to open carry and whatever,
Yep.
And now
He's got a gun.
now they done shot this white guy, and he had a gun on it. He had the right to carry the gun, but he wasn't pulling it on nobody, or whatever. So if they did that to him, what the hell do we think they're going to do to us?
Uh-huh.
But the Second Amendment never really applied for black folks anyway. Just like this country, it was meant for white. They had the Constitution was really written for the white folks, until we forced them to live up to the creed of and it hasn't lived up to it all the way. But through the years, we've had to fight and struggle and force this United States, this America, to live up to its values and and its core beliefs pertaining to that Constitution. So
yeah,
it's never meant for us.
Isn't he trying to do away with the Constitution? That's what Trump is doing. He's
not following.
They brought back so they brought back the government, right? Because the government shutdown is over. I heard it's back up again. You heard about it?
I heard about that too.
It was half shut down, but not completely. Not like it was not like it was back in November, I think it was. But it was like half shut down, but nobody's feeling it this time.
Because I don't trust it.
But they play this game all the time. They play this game all the time with the shutdown of the government. They do this all the time. It's a game.
Yeah, it is a game. And plus, I don't trust it because it's brought back under, I believe, Trump, because I think that's the reason why they brought it back up again. Because once they shut it down, someone's behind that.
Mm-hmm.
They already fired all the rest of the Democrats as part of the government. So whoever's in charge now, they shut that down to take away certain resources of it or what it used to bring it back under conservatorship, to bring it back under evangelicals, to bring it back under all of this, to put on all these freaking ridiculous laws so that we don't have rights for shit. And also, you got to do what they say, comply, do this, and all of that. I know what it is. I already know how this is gonna go.
Right.
So that's just what remember, this is an operation. This is a tactic of what they're trying to do here. Again, this is a motive for people to comply whatever that the one world leaders is trying to do here. Remember, one world government, one world order. That's what they want. Martial law, people thinking the same, people masculine, black and white, um, also divide and conquer. And you cannot actually, and you can't actually point out what's wrong in the government, or you can't point out the president. Otherwise, that's called treason. You're going to jail, whatever it is, or they're going to mute you and all that other stuff. They're taking away freedom of speech. That's what it is. Meanwhile, the conservatives, when Obama was in office, was talking about, oh, freedom of speech is getting taken away from us. Oh my gosh, this is wrong, and all that other bullshit. Meanwhile, you're trying to take away freedom of speech on the Democratic side. Make that make sense. And also, you're talking about surveillance on y'all, but when it comes to the blue states, now you want surveillance on them. Make that make sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was getting rid of all the surveillance, having freedom of speech from both sides. What the hell happened to that? That don't make any sense. You're nothing but narcissists. You're freaking hypocrites. You're biased.
So let me ask this question then. What does it look like if the gays, the queers, the LGBTQIA plus LMNOP, whatever you want to call us, what does it look like if we stay home? I mean, like, are we black first? Are we queer first? Or are we all of it at the same time? And then if we just say black folks, if the black folks came out and protested, just say when the ICE starts knocking on our doors and pulling us out of our house and cars and beating us and killing us, and then we get out in the street and protest, what happens if the queers, because we all know that, we've been hearing a lot of all this rumbling that's been going on lately about, the black folks down in these comments and stuff where they're being transphobic, homophobic, all throughout the internet. They're doing this whole DL thing now where they're all talking about DL men and whatever. So what if the queers got fed up and we got tired and we said we're not coming out when the black folks do come out? Just say the black queers. What if we don't come out? What does it look like when we stay home?
They wouldn't care.
We're always out in the protests.
I don't think they really care, to be honest with you.
You don't think so?
It's not. I don't think it's going to make a change or anything for that to happen, because I think we've seen everything that's happened before. Because remember when a lot of stuff when it came to Trayvon Martin and everybody else, stuff like that's happened.
Yeah.
Let it be somebody that's white that's got shot. They get all this attention. They talk about it. It's like, I feel like it's not gonna make a difference. So, like, to be honest with you, I know it sounds mean, but I don't really think it's gonna make a difference, to be honest with you. Because I think if we stay home as black folks, no matter what our sexual orientation is or anything like that, I feel like we already seen the crapola that's happened. Even when the pandemic started in 2020, we saw how they treated us. They were rough on us, but you see how now, since pandemic's been over with, but you see how a lot of just like ICE and all this other stuff is going on. You're seeing the white folks seeing what we went through, and I think they feel sorry for us because they're going through the same shit that we went through. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's damn if you do, damn if you do. But at the same time, it's like, what if we put ourselves out there for that type of arrangement to happen again? It's going to be more violence, and I feel like it's just one of those. You have to take your chance on what you may think is right, because what you may think is right may not be what somebody else thinks is right.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, Sean?
I think you have to take your time. You got to take your time on what you think is right.
Well, the thing is, I think people need, like, straight people just, they just get on my nerves with it when it comes to, because the thing is, they want to own everything. That's the problem. The problem is their narcissistic control to oppress others that is weaker than them. They believe that gay people are weaker, so they decide to oh, you're this, you're that, we don't need you. But then when it comes to gay people that sits in the house, then you want to complain that now you're not coming out for us. The thing is like damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're creating nothing but an agenda to just still hate gay people for damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you just don't like gay people. That's what it is. Or you do like gay people, but then you hate gay people. Then you like gay people, but then you hate gay people. It's like a
It's one of those.
confused,
It's one of those. You're not gonna win.
twisted.
You can't really win on that situation.
It's twisted. Like their mind is so
Very.
they're confused. They're confused because the thing is, you choose to be confused instead of accepting who they are. They're helping you out, and you're not giving them that type of chance. I don't understand that. You think that gay people are the most worst people, that's the detrimental, the worst thing of the black community. Meanwhile, you're having husbands of the opposite sex that don't know who they are, that you're sleeping with, that are ruining your lives. But meanwhile, you're talking to an openly gay man like they're the worst thing in the world. Make that make sense. You need to get out of that situation and just bring them on board and help out, please. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because the thing is, that what is their sexuality and what they do in the bedroom is not your concern. And the thing is, it got so bad that they're trying to police men of who they're sleeping with in the bedroom. It's other men that's doing that shit. It's so stressful. Leave them alone.
That's true.
And it's a fucking distraction because now, Trump is taking away your health care. Trump is taking away your Medicaid. Trump is taking away your meds. Trump is taking away your cancer shit. Trump is taking away your heart problems because you do have that. Trump is taking away all that shit. Meanwhile, you worried about another man that's sleeping with another man instead of worried about you. And then also you're bullying your own children because they're living their truth. So that the daughter has to suffer, the other families have to suffer the bullshit. Because God forbid, if she catches something, because this dude don't know who he is, or he knows who he is, he has to impress his family because he's tired of them damaging his soul, so he had to go to heterosexual side.
Yeah,
He's damaged. She's damaged. The whole family's damaged. You created a family of nothing but another energy where he does not want to be in a relationship with this woman, and then she doesn't know. And then when she finds out, then there's going to be nothing but destruction in the home while the kids have to deal with this shit. That's already destruction of what you just did right there, family. Instead of having a person be real about themselves, have another kid that's heterosexual. And let him have the family line name. Because they're fucking idiots. And they're biased. I'm sorry, I got to say this.
All right, I'm gonna play this last video. It's about 2 or 3 minutes long, and then we'll have a little discussion, and then we'll get up out of here because it's getting late.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna play this little video, and then y'all weigh in on it when I get through, because I got a question about it, and then then we can get on up out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me share my screen.
This is stupid.
There's strong reaction today to Don Lemon's arrest.
The Trump administration taking new aggressive steps against journalists.
His former colleague at CNN expressing outrage.
This very much has Trump retribution vibes.
The White House responding with mockery, announcing Lemon's arrest on social media.
Alvin, baby, I think it's going out. It's going in and out.
Is it?
Taken into custody early Friday morning in Los Angeles after attending a pre-Grammy party. According to one report,
it's
was seen being handcuffed while flanked by FBI and Homeland Security agents. Lemon is here in Los Angeles to cover the Grammys for his YouTube channel. He's scheduled to be here at Crypto.com Arena on the red carpet, interviewing celebrities before Sunday.
I don't think it's on your. I think it's just the video acting out like that because I know you're trying to play it, but it's not you. It's just the video.
Is it? Okay, let me restart it and see because it's on the. I was trying to share the screen on the internet. Let me try it again. Tell me if it's
Play it first, then we'll let you know.
Okay.
Once you share the screen, we'll play it.
Don Lemon's arrest.
The Trump
Still can't hear nothing.
taking new aggressive steps against journalists.
His former colleagues at CNN expressing outrage.
This very much has Trump retribution vibes.
The White House responding with mockery, announcing Lemon's arrest
I
on
hear it
social
on my
media
end
with the
now.
caption, "When life
Oh, I
gives
hear
you
it now.
lemons." He was taken into custody early Friday morning in Los Angeles after attending a pre-Grammy party. According to one report, he was seen being handcuffed while flanked by FBI and Homeland Security agents. Lemon is here in Los Angeles to cover the Grammys for his YouTube channel. He's scheduled to be here at Crypto.com Arena on the red carpet interviewing celebrities before Sunday's show. But all that is up in the air now that he's in federal custody.
I'm just going to walk in, see what's happening.
It was this report 2 weeks ago that landed him in hot water with the Trump administration. He followed anti-ICE agitators into a Minneapolis church whose pastor is believed to work with ICE.
I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing. I'm a journalist.
But the White House claims he was one of the organizers. And today, Attorney General Pam Bondi says a grand jury indicted Lemon on charges that he interfered with the congregant's civil rights.
If I haven't been clear already, if you violate that sacred right, we are coming after you.
Don Lemon is planning to fight the charges.
I
His
hate
lawyer
that
saying
blonde
the
bitch.
journalist's work in Minneapolis was, quote, constitutionally protected.
But hold on,
I just hate that blonde bitch. Listen, that fucking blonde hoe can suck it. Listen, because the thing is, she's the one that incites wars. That woman is fucking dangerous, and that's the ones you need to watch out for. People like that. Now the thing is, he is a journalist. That's what journalists do. The thing I want to know is these people are so fucking narcissistic, so fucking biased, and think that they have so much control over shit. It's ridiculous. We don't say nothing to you when you intervene in our motherfucking conventions, all of yous, because they did this when Obama was in office, and they also did all this shit. And also, they even stormed the freaking White House. They stormed the freaking White House. We're not saying anything about you, but when it comes to him, he goes to jail. But when it comes to all those white people that was in that fucking White House, none of single one went to freaking jail for what they did, and a couple of deaths was in that White House. Make that make sense on Juneteenth. June 16th, I mean.
So check this out then.
It don't make sense to me.
So check this out then. So they talk about us protesting. You know, we have done none of this. They're the ones, the ICE and them are the ones who are shooting, dragging us, beating us, spraying us, killing us. But look at this.
So we're going to see some of what our witnesses saw on January 6th. Let's see the video, please. But please be advised that it contains graphic images and strong language, which many may find disturbing.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, we're boots on the ground here. We're moving on to Capitol now. I'll give you a boots on the ground update here in a few.
Multiple capital entries. Multiple capital entries. Fuck you, police! Even Trump, we're still taking metal, sharpened objects, missiles to include bottles and rocks, and hand-thrown chemical-grade fireworks.
And all those people didn't do a damn thing about this.
And I think some of them are part of this. Let me tell you, yeah, they did a little pepper spray. They didn't do anything.
1349 declaring it a riot.
They allowed this shit to happen, all of this. Those Secret Service people should have unalived every last one of them, or actually did something about it by doing a tactic to push them away.
This tip of the spear has entered the Capitol building.
How you gonna let that happen? I want to know how you gonna let that happen to even let all those people get into that Capitol like that? All of them. That's ridiculous. And majority of them don't even live in Washington, D.C.
If I give this up, they're going to have to run after. At least this Capitol we can defend. We got to hold what we have. Take your pins off.
Yeah. The fuck?
Take your pins off.
See, this man didn't do shit. Look at him. Look at him now, just standing there instead of knocking him out. All of this bullshit right here. This was all allowed to allow them to enter to that White House. That would have never had happened if it was Democrats that did that shit.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even make it a foot into that White House. None of them.
1033. I repeat, 1033. What's from the Capitol? We've been praying till we've lost our lives.
And they will still enter to that smoke screen. All of them still entered in there. They got to Nancy Pelosi at the time. They went right to Nancy Pelosi.
Lock the shields. Lock them together. Lock them together. Jimmy, get him to the back. Get him to the back. Get him to the back. Let's get some fresh faces up front.
So let me get this straight. They didn't get no tank. They didn't get no giant rubber bullets. They didn't get none of that. Meanwhile, the people that did a peaceful protest, they get shot up. They get bullied. Half of the people that is Democratic states, they get shot down. Half of those people, that's from ICE. Those are the people right there. That's ICE. They could be them.
Right.
That inflicted violence right into that White House. Those could be the same people that's in them freaking uniforms right now.
Make a list, put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one.
How did they let this happen? When I sat there, even when I first sat there looking at this, I was like, how did they let this happen? You didn't get no takes. You didn't get no freaking bullet. You didn't freaking put your life down on the line. You didn't do shit. You allowed those people to enter in that freaking White House on June 6th with those racist motherfuckers that have no motherfucking mindset. You allowed that shit to happen.
Alvin, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you and Deshaun. You can't hear Deshaun? I can hear Deshaun.
That shit is freaking wild, man. I mean, I've never seen anything like that shit crazy. By the time they'd even get near that freaking White House, they would have gotten shot up. You allowed that shit to happen? I already knew that was a freaking tactic. That was already a tactic from the freaking one world government because they were already planning this shit to happen to create divide and conquer. That's what it freaking was. I knew that shit was going to happen. I said, listen, this shit is going to create nothing but a one world government because that's what the fuck those people wanted. They fell for the bullshit. All them fucking white people fell for the bullshit when it came because what is it called?
white guilt when it came to black people, and then they couldn't take it no more, so they just stormed the White House. They fell for the bullshit. Meanwhile, the governor, because the thing is, was already planned for Trump to get initiated anyways, because the thing is, when Biden was president, he was already he was like some kind of other thing, because he wasn't never going to be the president. He was the president, but he had no control over these motherfucking racist freaking because they're already confident already at the time, but they want to say all this narcissistic shit to us. This was all allowed. This was all a tactic and operation already. Because those motherfucking SWAT teams, all those people should have been knocked the ass out, had nothing but sleeping gas on their fucking ass for them even touching that freaking White House or storm that freaking White House. That would have never been a Democrat people that would have done that shit.
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that. For the most part, we do protest peacefully, but those January 6th, those were supposed to be God-fearing, evangelical Christian. You know,
those were not Christian.
Which a lot of them were the KKK, white supremacists, evangelical, so-called Christians. You know, but they're trying to paint it as a different narrative. They're trying to say that they weren't rioting. Now when it comes to us, we're rioting. They're saying we're rioting and thugs and we deserve to be shot and stuff. But we saw now that they're trying to say our lying eyes, we didn't see. They're trying to say we didn't see what we saw right there.
That's because they're trying to
they're trying to take the narrative and turn it into like they were the peaceful, you know, they were peaceful.
They were not no damn peaceful.
All the destruction and stuff that they
were not. They got on my nerves, really, to be honest with you, because it's like re-looking at it. It irritates me and it frustrates me.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead, K2.
No, it just frustrates me. It's just like seeing it. It's just like it brings anger, but at the same time, I know we're rewatching it. We're trying to make our point,
right?
But I feel like us rewatching it is not gonna make a difference. I feel like it's just making us more enraged.
Yeah, it does make you enraged, you know, and sometimes you get so tired of everything you turn on is ICE, everything you turn on is Trump, everything
exactly.
you know, sometimes you know, it's like, you know, can we talk about some of the
something else?
You know, some of the silliness that's going on in the other channels, and you know, some of the stuff that we used to talk about and rave about, some of the other crazy stuff that's going on in the channels that's normal, crazy everyday life. Why do we have to deal with this? I mean, it's so overwhelming sometimes, and sometimes it's just like, you know, I just need to move and go to South Africa. You know, go live in South Africa. You know, which I plan to do anyway. But you know, it's just so overwhelming.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. So, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that? Do y'all think, for one thing, do y'all think the churches should be off limits to protesting?
Yeah, because they don't do their research or at all. They just listen to what they see on TV, fall for the okie doke, and that's what it is, and go to their Jesus.
I agree.
So why do you think that you shouldn't protest churches? Why would you think that churches are off limits when it comes to
protest churches? You can. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Why?
You can protest against, because the thing is, if they're doing wrong, right, and the churches know that they're doing wrong, such as that church right there is I think it's the Evangelicals church, like I said, it's part of that. Because the thing is, if he's part of the organization of ICE, why not storm the church? Why not storm the church?
And actually,
Don Lemon had every right to storm the church, because the thing is, he wants to get to the bottom of it. Like, what are you doing? Why not?
Yeah, but here's the thing: churches are a protest anyway. When you're in there preaching and preaching the Bible and the gospel and stuff, you know, it's a protest basically it's a protest within itself anyway. You know, and Jesus, if you believe in the Gospels of Jesus Christ, if you believe in all of that type of stuff, then you know, Jesus was a protest. He went into the churches and overturning the tables. He went in there protesting and different things. He's in there protesting against the Pharisees and overturning the money, the whoremongers and the money changers and stuff that were inside the church. You know, we protested from the time we were brought here through slavery. We protested, you know, and it came and it was birthed from within the church, coming from outside the church. You know, we are a protest. You know, and if our First Amendment rights gives us the right to protest, and we're not going in there shooting up the church or killing people like Dylan Roof did, you know what I mean? But you know, churches should not be off limits. You know, you have a right to protest your grievances and stuff, you know, like that. You don't have to go in there and be destructive, you know, or harm people or do something like that. But anywhere, I mean, we go into our government offices and protest. You know, we walk into the White House, we walk into the Capitol, and we protest. You know, and there's certain places that has boundaries where they say you can't cross this or you can't cross that. But there's nothing that ever said that you could never. There's nothing out there that say you could not go and protest the church. And then with the damn going into the guy in the church who's the damn preacher, and he's also an ICE agent, which probably also means he's a damn Ku Klux, you know, probably allegedly, I don't know, but he probably part of the Klan too. You know, a lot of them are white supremacists. You know, so you know, why not go in there and protest? And anyway, Don Lemon was actually, he was in there being a journalist. You know, but even if he was protesting, so what? You know, you shouldn't be allowed, you shouldn't have to get arrested. Now they can put you out, you know, they can remove you from the church, you know, whatever, but you shouldn't get arrested for protesting. Even if Don Lemon was in there being a journalist, or even if he was in there protesting, which he wasn't protesting, you know, but even if he was, he should not have been arrested for that. You know, and the protesters shouldn't have been arrested for it. You do like you do at any other protest. You push you somehow you get the police or whatever, and they make them leave. You know, and or they take them out, or they push. You know, they move them on out and stuff. That had nothing to do with. I can't even hear Deshaun. That had nothing to do with. That had nothing to do with them trying to arresting him for that. And Trump is doing that. That's just him making an example, you know, trying to make an example. And it's also trying to scare black folks, you know, because it was all black folks that they actually arrested that day. You know, they didn't go and arrest, they didn't do anything to the white protesters or any other ethnicity. They got all black people. And it was to make an example of us, you know, and to scare us, to let us know, you know, y'all asses better not come out, because you see what we're going to do to y'all, you know. So it had you know, there was racist overtones to all of that too, to let us know this is what's going to happen to y'all too. You know, we gonna haul y'all into court. We might even shoot you. We might even beat you. You know. But no, I don't think churches should be off limits, you know. I don't think the church, you know. But and then what do y'all think about ICE? Do you think it should be defunded? You know, and should ICE agents have immunity? You know, should ICE agents, should they have immunity?
Hell no.
No. After all that shit they did, the damage has been finished. The damage has been finished. Look at what they did. All 50 cases of on a live of all the people. No, and then you know, they actually arrested a baby, 2 kids twice, even a black kid.
Yeah.
To go to freaking the Mexican whatever, the FEMA camps and shit.
And you know what? There's actually more that we just don't know about. There's more out there that just doesn't get talked about that's actually happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's more than this, actually. So
yeah, they don't deserve that. No, they need to get defunded too. Yes.
I agree.
yeah, I think they should be defunded. We didn't even have ICE before 9/11 anyway. You know what I mean? That was a response to not damn 9/11, and now we're
Because the
stuck
thing
with
is,
their ass. You know, and they're getting funded more than any shit we need for health care and for all that stuff. They're funding them trillions of dollars for them to come and
trillions.
abuse us in our own country. So yeah,
All that
they should
money
be.
is wasted.
Huh?
I
Do you
agree.
know how much money that we would have used for in a positive way? And they all the children that were hungry, that's all burned up. Like Miss Stevie said, all that all the food that was all burnt up for the hungry. Trump burnt that up. Do you know how much money we would have used for that? Do you know how much
But
money we would have used to help
Trump is
people?
building. He's building ballrooms and arches and
Ballrooms and
all
arches.
that bullshit. And
For his own personal enjoyment. That's all it is.
for his own narcissistic whatever. But yeah, no, and I don't think they should have absolute immunity. I think they're going to need to be brought to trial, just like we talked about the Nuremberg trial. Eventually, they're going to need to be brought to trial, and they're going to need to be sentenced and maybe put in Alligator Alley or sent over to El Salvador. The whole lot of, because they're actually cold-blooded killers. A lot of.
They are. And, let me tell you this. Here's another side note. Some of those people are not really ICE. They're actually pretending to actually be ICE. They're disguised as ICE to do things. They also do things to also rape women, too. I hope you know that. They do that, too, because I heard that.
We've seen them go into those little porta potties and bathrooms and stuff, pretending like they're putting people in, women in there to go use the bathroom, and they slip in there and rape them and stuff. We've seen videos of that on I've seen videos of that online.
They don't even catch these people.
They're not, because they're not doing it.
Some of them.
No, they know that they're doing it. They're not going to do anything for them. Trump is making excuses of why they need, they need to abuse and stuff. So, he's just pathological. And, that whole lot of them, they're all pathological.
Yeah, pathological liars, they're pathological freaking biased people. They're pathological, all of them.
Dumbasses.
All of them. Remember, but Trump says he loves the uneducated. He wants everyone uneducated.
Because that's what he is.
Well, yeah, he is. He is.
He wants everyone uneducated.
He didn't do well in school, and couldn't even get into a good college, even though his father and grandfather was paying for him, whatever. But he couldn't even really get grades.
He's privileged. He's a privileged person.
Right. Yeah.
And those people are dangerous. Those people are the ones that will destroy this world in a fucking flash. Those are the people you got to watch out for, because these are the people that are jealous of other people that have success and actually work their ass off to save this country, and they want to tear it down and put it in their own way, in a very unlogical, narcissistic, freaking evil, malicious way, in a bad way, like thinking that that's right. Like they believe in this. They actually believe that taking shit and doing things and creating nothing but divide and conquer and fighting and creating civil wars and all that other shit is the right way to do it. And it's not. It never worked. It never worked. You're destroying families. You're destroying the ideas of what family values is. You're destroying the people that has respect for one another. You're creating nothing but low vibrational energy people that is coming into this world. Even the next generation are coming into this world negative because they were taught by these negative ass freaking parents that are narcissistic.
Amen on that.
You're bringing all this shit into play. They're bringing all this shit all into play, and it's not working. You're only making it worse.
True. Quote, it's exhausting.
It's hurting people across the board.
Yeah.
It's mentally draining.
It's mentally draining. It's just absolutely mentally draining. People got to fight to get their shit back. People got to fight to get all their freaking the money that they earn. People are getting unemployed. Do you know that black people are getting unemployed too? All of them are getting unemployed. Even women. Women are getting unemployed. And now black men are getting the highest of unemployment. Because underneath, depending on who is in charge, which is the managers that could be white. Oh, we got to let you go. We got to let you go. All of that. So now they have to go elsewhere to find jobs, or they're going to have to make their own jobs. And it's going to be hard to do that. Because you have to have money. You have to have freaking taxes that's going to actually come into play. You got to know how to do all this shit. You got to figure out how to create a business in your mind. And guess what? Even if it is a black-owned government, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tear it down. Just like they did before. Because they're fucking jealous. These people are fucking crazy. Like, they're fucking crazy, and they're not in their higher self. They don't tap into their higher self because they never was. They were always built on nothing but deadly killing machines. They always was. Oh, that's all they know how to do because they were born in this. They were born in this loony confusion and shit. These kids was molested, tortured, trauma by their own race. And now they're taking their anger out on us. But we are not your enemy. Your enemy is your own race that did that to you. Sorry. I'm sorry, Mom. You did this to me. And now they're taking their anger out on us. We didn't do that to you. The mom, all this incest, all that shit in the white side. They take all this shit out on us. Every little bit of it. By saying that we don't like you, we are the superior ones. You're supposed to be on the bottom. We're supposed to be up here. But deep down, something in their mind, something in their body is like, help me. I need help. Because really, they don't want to take their anger out on their moms. They don't want to take out their anger out on their sick fathers. They don't want to take it out on their sick cousins or whatever the hell that was going on with them. They have to take drugs. They had to find a way to get that high so that that trauma can get out of their system, and it doesn't work. They got to find something. Those white people are fucking crazy, and they lost their fucking bonkers. They lost it. You see it. You see it in the South where they're acting crazy. They taking off their shirt. They're going all the crazy like that because they fucking lost their way. They are destructive. They lost their humanity of who they was. Their innocence were already gone since the time they came out the womb. But they will never tell you that.
Okay. Kenneth, you got anything last departing words before we get out of here?
I'm done. I'm done
All
with
right.
it.
Okay, Deshaun, what about you? You just let loose. What else? What's your departing words before we get out of here?
The thing, listen, it's like I said, this is all projection. This is what it is. It's all projection. They try to find a way to hate their other dark counterparts because the thing is, it's projection on whatever the hell they was going through from their childhood. That's what it is. And now they're angry about it, and they didn't want to take their anger on because they want to have that power and feel good about themselves, thinking that they want to be popular. That's what it is. I don't care what branch they are. I don't care if they're poor, one tooth, people that have businesses, corporations, all of them. They're all in the same boat. They do that shit. Because they want to become popular, because they never had any friends. They never had any friends at all. They were losers. And now until they don't know how to wire themselves into a positive way on how to create friends in a right way. They don't know how to do that. They're wired in narcissism, into bias. They want to find a way to find a group where they can bully gay people, because deep down they probably are. And then they was probably molested on top of that, because their fathers must have gave them a prostitute and they did not want to have sex with them, but they tortured them to death, to the point where they had no choice. Then they try to bully nerds that are just living their authentic selves, bullying people that's into the grass and everything else, trying to bully black people. They try to find another way to hate other people that's not bothering them, because there's something wrong with them. These people create these fires. These people create nothing but dominance to say that I'm right and I am the only one that's right, and you can't tell me that I'm wrong. Because they always want to be fucking right up in here, and they're not. All of those people are part of the problem. Every last one of them. Everyone have a freaking story that when they grow up, they become nothing but evil fucking assholes that destroy families. And not only that, when they even date people from the other family, when these men, they ruin that fucking woman's life, because she never thought that he was like that until they don't want to talk about their pain. They don't want to talk about their struggles. They don't want to talk about it. So they express hate and anger. And they want to think that that shit is normal. It is the twistedest shit I've ever seen.
Well, don't blow a
But they're on this
gasket.
fucking country.
Don't blow a gasket on
I
that,
can't
'cause
believe
it's not even worth
Yeah.
it.
You're mad. He's mad. He's upset, but don't blow a gasket.
it is fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's twisted. This shit is twisted. They are twisted, and they're twisted. And they're out here. They're out here.
Well, I got up here. It's exhausting, but we can't get tired. In essence, it means pushing through insurmountable fatigue because duty or necessity outweighs the need for rest. So, we're gonna have to come together and fight this if we want a country to the way we want it to be. Because it's going in a direction where it's going to look a lot different than what we're used to. And if we don't act and do something, and I know we're tired, I know we want to stay home and lie and dance and eat barbecue and
No, I want to do something
all of
else. I want to ask
that,
the ancestors to actually come in and destroy them and to create nothing but karmic energy in a physical form. There's no lion dance. It's time to call on the real ancestors, the Orishas, the Loa, and the Gede, and the intra beings into the frequency to stop what the fuck is going on, because these people are the ones that are actually doing this. We need a call on Santea, supposedly. We need a call on Tetron. We need a call on all these people of these deities to come into real time, and I press play on it right now. I press play on it.
Okay.
All those people that are doing destruction on people that's trying to live their lives, I send nothing but pain and destruction in their fucking lives.
Ooh. Yeah. Well,
because it don't make no fucking sense.
You know, they don't mind causing pain and destruction on us. They don't mind taking away and stripping us of our liberties and our rights and stuff, you know. So I have no empathy or sympathy for any of those type of folks like that.
I press play
It's
on it.
bad that you know, these people went out and voted for Trump, you know, and the ones who voted for him 3 times is just ridiculous. But you know, for them to vote this man back into office, and I do believe there was some voter booth rigging, and you know, I think there was a lot of some wrongdoings with this election. But he's in there, and it's, you know, we have to suffer. The ones of us who did not vote for this, we have to suffer, get out there and protest, and whatever means we have to do to rectify this, to fix this. And we have to, even though we're tired, we have to keep going and have to fight for this, for the, you know, for those ones who voted for his ass and who voted for all of this. You know, some of them now are talking about this is not what we voted for, but actually, you know, it is
That's what they did.
It is what you voted for. And if you couldn't see, you know, too ignorant or uneducated or whatever to see what, you know, to see who this man was, what he was, and the Republican Party for who they are, you know, and you chose to vote for this anyway, then, you know, I have no sympathy or empathy for you. But the problem is the rest of us have to suffer. And there are people who are suffering or are going to die, you know, because of this, you know, and because of y'all vote, you know. And I mean, it's just sad. So now we have to get out there and fight for our country, for these other fools who voted for this, and those ones who, the blacks, you know, the Mexicans, the whites, you know, the Asians, the Indians, the Arabs of y'all that did, the ones that y'all that did go out and vote for him, you know, you put your families and us, all of us, in danger, you know, and our liberties and our rights and stuff, you know, being stripped of us and stuff for your, you know, for your power and your greed, you know, and a lot of it does boil down to power and greed. So, but anyway, that's all I have to say. And, you know, I appreciate you guys. What's Deshaun doing over there with his hand? Oh, I appreciate you guys for joining us today. You know, coming on here, the short stack, Kenneth, you know, K Tukes, Deshaun, Miss Stevie was on. You know, we had some other ones from the short stack in here, and then we had other people in earlier, you know, who came in and commented. Slick and Slacious was in here. The Anarchist podcast, he was in here. We had Now Is the Time was in here. And Alexis, you know, we had quite a few people up in here today. So I appreciate everybody for coming in. Thanks Dallas, and thanks the world, Texas, for you know, for tuning in later. For those of you who are going to come in and tune in and watch later, you know, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And then, you know, go visit, you know, pop on over to K Tukes and Deshaun's and Miss Stevie's and Bubs and everybody. Pop on over to their channel. Before we get out of here, Kenneth, tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on my YouTube. It's at Kenneth, you know, at Kenneth Tukes II. Instagram is KTukes85. So you guys can find me easily on those, because right there, if you find me on YouTube, subscribe to me, and then if you want to go on my link has all my social media stuff. If you guys want to find me, you know how to get in touch with your boy.
And Dave Breezy, Deshaun, tell us how they can find you.
Deshaun Stallings on YouTube. My other name is on my other account is on Instagram. You can see me there, and my Twitter is also the same way. And you know, even my thread. So you'll get to see me there.
All righty, guys. I'll see y'all, Kenneth. I'll see you on your channel, and I'll see you in the short stack. Deshaun, I'll see your stuff on Instagram. I've seen you putting some stuff out there lately, and I also see you in the short stack. Miss Stevie, she done passed out, so she's gone.
I know. She always
She
do
was
this.
just so excited. She wanted us to be
I
so
told you
passionate
she
for
was
her.
gonna do it. Didn't I
You know
tell
what? I probably should have started the politics first for her, so she could weigh in and get all her
She
stuff
just,
in, and then
well, you know
do
what?
the
She got
micro
excited. She let
shooting
Deshaun
later.
do all the work for her.
You said
Yep,
what?
I
Deshaun
put
did all the
all
work
that
for her.
energy.
That's why she was so excited. She fell asleep.
Yep, she
Yeah,
fell asleep and I took over. You know
yeah.
what I mean? From
Deshaun
It just
always
got
brings
deep on
the
us.
Deshaun always brings the energy. So I
Child, yes.
appreciate
Now y'all know y'all.
everybody.
Now you know I love y'all because you know I don't be on no live this long.
Well, thank you. We love you back. We love you back.
too.
So you know I love y'all for me being on this long. You know I had to love y'all dearly.
You know it.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We go bounce over in your when you be doing your interviews and stuff. We gonna bounce over in there too.
Oh, don't worry. You're gonna see some stuff, but right now it's the break time right now before I let some announcements come out.
Oh
When
yeah,
you start back
definitely
up, in like a month or two, because I think last year you started back up and you took a break and you started back up in like June, didn't you?
Oh, I just was like, you know what it is? I take my short breaks, come back, come back, take a break, come back.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you. Deshaun. Bubs was at a funeral today. He was doing a repast. He was at a repast, so he was in the comments for a little while. But
he was.
We had to go handle up on funeral business and stuff like that. We'll live and we'll pop over into his live.
Yeah, because I heard on Miss Stevie underneath, because I had to do a rewatch play, and
he had a repass.
Like,
he went to a repass.
What
he
happened?
went to a repass. No, he went to a repass because I think I don't know if it's somebody in his family or maybe somebody he knew had passed away. I don't think it was a family. I think it was just somebody he knew.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to a repass. So when we saw him in the comments, that's what was going on. He was there.
Yeah, he had put in the comments also that he was him and his sister. So it must have been somebody really close too, or whatever, because him and his sister were cleaning up. Like they were cleaning up after the funeral or whatever the repast. They were cleaning and helping put stuff away and do stuff like that. So it must have been somebody that was really close.
I think so.
So anyway, but we'll catch up on. He's putting out some stuff too, so we'll catch up on. His channel is Bubs the God. You can follow him. It's Bubs the God on Instagram, YouTube, Rumble. He's in a lot of spaces. So.
Yes. Alvin will have his information, y'all, so don't worry.
All righty, y'all. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go throw myself in this bed too. I gotta get up in the
Same here.
So I'll see y'all in the short stack and then on y'all channels.
All right.
Wait.
If you need me to share this, send me the link so I can share it for you.
You gotta say Bubs the Butter God.
You mean the leprechaun?
Well,
the leprechaun. Yeah, you can add that
he's
in
the
there.
leprechaun of the group.
Yes, he's definitely the leper buttercon of the group.
Oh, behave with him.
Nice and buttery. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm behaving for now. But if Bubs the God ever try that voice,
he gonna come for you.
If Bubs the God ever try that voice one more time, I'm knocking on the door. Oh yeah, and I'm inviting T for Tad too, because I know he has good hands. So the greatest, he got great hands. So a good massage and stuff. I want to watch too.
Oh my God, you trying to get you a menage a trois?
Alrighty.
Oh my God.
So I would definitely love to have that little.
I would go like this, like la 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 la.
I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. No.
Oh, don't tempt him. You know he gonna say something. Don't start with Deshaun. You walked yourself into that one.
Yeah, once you walk in, you can't come out.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
All right.
All right.
Oh my God.
Deshaun, play nice. Play nice like the other kids. All right, Deshaun, you have a good night. K Toops, you have a good night. All right, Alvin, behave yourself. See, you walked in on that nastiness.
Oh, I'm just joking around with Deshaun.
Oh, I don't think he was joking. I think he was serious.
Well, he's just gonna have to be serious because I'm joking.
I will leave that alone.
I have to keep myself out of trouble. I know how to not cross boundaries and cross the line. So
I don't think you crossed.
We talked about micro cheating earlier. I know how to keep myself. I know how to keep myself in respect boundaries.
I'm gonna have to talk to you off camera on this one right here because you know he would have started with you.
Oh, Deshaun just sent something about. Let me see.
See, I told you.
He just sent something about T.S. Madison doing a restraining order.
Oh, let me get off this thing with you and find this out.
He said T.S. Madison granted restraining order against stalker D.L. Whisper and Armand Wiggins versus Moto. Oh, so all that D.L. Whisper stuff still going on.
Ooh. That's my cue to leave my boys. That's my cue to leave my boys show right now.
Yeah. All righty. Good night. Bye, world.
Good night.
Bye, Dallas. Good night. Thanks for joining me. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate it. And everybody who's going to watch on the replay. All right. Good night.
Good night, y'all.